Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Oh, we're having an issue with that right now. I got to come there and go fix that for you, Brendan. What happened? You guys take over for a quick second.
Are we on?
Intro of the show.
No, I got to click there.
Yeah, we're on. Intro of the show, Jasmine.
Oh, okay. This is the Hangout on Edmonton Sports Talk. You have the one and only Tom Gazzola,
Very good.
the one and only Jasmine Sidhu, and Maddie Iwanyk,
Who's coming in?
who's coming in hot.
Bellezy.
Yeah, Bellezy. That's right. Bellezy's on his way.
Yep.
We have a lot to talk about today, I feel like. Lots of association because, you know, Tommy really cares.
Mm-hmm.
Oilers win yesterday. How was the chat?
Awesome. And way over the line.
Really?
Yeah, like hilarious in the best way. I didn't read it as much as Bellezy and Hernan, but those guys, we were in Leon Draisaitl post-game clip, and Hernan was laughing so much he had to take off his glasses and wipe away tears. And then I look on the screen, and the preview monitor has Bellezy at his place laughing like to the point of tears. And I was like, what is going on, you guys? And they're like, nasty chat has gone off the rails. And I didn't even bother to look. And then a few texts came in talking about the nasty chat. And I was like, okay, we got to end this show properly. So I didn't even look at it, but apparently it was ridiculous.
Okay, and ridiculous in a sense of like everybody was happy, or everybody's just mad at Skinner again,
No,
or
no,
like okay.
they were happy, but it's just like something that we said or what Knobloch said or Bellezy said was taken and mixed together and made sexual.
I love those.
Yeah, so it was good. We had a lot of laughs on the post game show yesterday. A lot of people were watching and listening, so it was fun. Matthew,
Yeah.
Matthew, did you solve everything?
We did. Thank you to everyone for now listening to us on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I had a little issue yesterday on Reed's show and stuff, so I don't know. I had a little bit of a, I don't know what went on there. Just had to re-log into our thing, but now we're live on those. I did.
I know, I'm just
It's
teasing.
fixed. We're also live on YouTube, and thanks to everyone for listening to us on podcasts. Wherever you get your podcasts, the EST Hangout is presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada's storage experts. More than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. 4 weeks free on all units. They are a Canadian storage provider. Check them out, sentinel.ca. Jasmine's already run through what we'll talk about on the show today, so we will get to that at some point as well. All of that, and then the news of the Canadian Football League as well, which is nice. Just want to throw it out there. The Caps going up $400,000, which is a little bit of the league revenue. It's the second largest increase in CFL history year over year. And from the numbers I saw of like Robbie Smith and Jake Stresna, basically almost paid for both of those guys.
Perfect.
So that's where Ed got some of his money to go spend.
Very good. Very good.
There was definitely snorting by the panel last night, says AB.
Yep.
So I'll have to go back and read the whole chat out.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes I like to pop in and.
Well, I just want to know what
was pretty funny.
so funny.
I
all of it.
I think it was funny the way Bellezy and Hernan reacted. I didn't really know what was going on in the nasty chat. I'm more on the text line post game. And I let Hernan and Bellezy. Bellezy loves the nasty chat, by the way. And same with Cass. Cass gets into it all the time.
All caps cast.
All caps Cass. He's yelling at everybody like Joel. And the guys were just howling. And then a couple texts did come into the inbox. I'm like, okay, it's time to say goodnight. And plus we were over an hour and we were having a lot of fun. You could tell it was winding down. But anyway, it was off the rails and funny, which was good. It was a good vibe, and we'll hopefully do it again all tonight. Boston Pizza Westgate, 170th Street, 90th Ave. Join us. Great giveaways there, and keep you warm. Take advantage of the food and drink specials.
I thought the game was a little bit of a snooze fest in the beginning, but then it really picked up. I think like soon as I was like, this game is boring, they tied the game. Well, yeah, St. Louis tied the game, and then it got good.
I'll quickly say, Bellezy says he's close, but traffic is slow, and he'll explain what happened when he gets here.
Ooh.
Okay, good. Because I like there was a lot of sexual innuendo in the text that I saw via the nasty chat, and not fit for air. Also, I would like to request on that board if we could put the expletive bleep button on it because I figured out how to use it. I'll talk to Dusty.
Well, I don't know if there's any open spots.
There's a million open spots.
Well, no, there's a limited number of pages.
Yeah,
you can
but
have.
like I
So
said,
it's not
there's a million open spots.
There's like 6 buttons for 8 pages. It's not a million.
There's a
Much
million
shy.
open spots. That's like a million in my books.
By the way, for tonight's game, 7:30, that's because Bruins Rangers at 5, and Jack Michaels did say on the broadcast, I think 7:52, or did he say 7:55?
Oh, it's 7:52. All of 7:52 today.
7:52 tonight for puck drop. So it's going to be a little bit of a late one, but it's a doubleheader on TNT down south.
Yeah.
With Bruins Rangers followed by Oilers Blackhawks. But I also saw an article yesterday about how brutal the NHL ratings are down south this year.
Is that right?
Massive drops.
Well, Florida won the cup.
Let me see if I can go
What the
find.
hell?
Can I find it in my history
Ouch.
quickly
Yeah.
here?
And it's been an exciting season.
It has.
It's the year of the comeback.
Mm-hmm. A lot of wild card.
Beautiful goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Wild card chase in the East more so than the West.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the hockey's been good. There's been some stupid player discipline calls and judgments and stuff like that, but that happens every year. And the revenue's up again.
Last week, NHL games on ESPN and TNT hovered around 200,000 viewers.
Ouch.
Getting beat handily by other sports properties. Now, some of this stuff, there is different ways of dealing with it.
Okay.
But they're seeing a steep 39% year-over-year decline, or they saw that in opening night viewership. They had a record low Winter Classic, and the numbers keep going. They had a San Jose-Seattle game, which now started at 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 our time, 7:30 out there. 175,000 viewers on ESPN.
That's less than an Oilers regional game in a market of...
It's significantly less than what the
4.5
CFL gets for an
million.
average game here in Canada, and we have much smaller population.
Yep.
There was a women's college basketball game between Iowa State and Kansas State in the lead-in. So now it started earlier, but they averaged 390,000 viewers. So they almost doubled it. There's a Flyers-Devils game on TNT that averaged 253,000 viewers. Later that night, it was Penguins-Utah that averaged 138,000 viewers.
Ow.
And we're
That
talking
is
about
awful.
the United States. If we're talking about now, flip side, the good news, if you're looking for ABC games on ABC, there haven't been a lot, but there was a game between the Rangers and the Bruins that drew 1.1 million.
That's good.
So that's a good number. But if you're talking about 138,000, if we average that out to what we have here in Canada, that's like 17,000 people watching.
That's like a
Per
Phoenix,
capita.
That's like a Phoenix Coyotes home broadcast.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah, Coyotes were not making
So
big numbers at all.
hockey not. Now, the NBA also has been seeing numbers drop this season as well, but not good numbers for the National Hockey League.
I'm curious, and I don't know how much of an effect this has, but is the fact that people are ditching cable, and I know there's more streaming services, do you think more people are pirating these games? Because I know there's a lot of very easy to access available streams to watch. Yeah, as Brendan
IPTV
puts
for
his
you?
hand up.
Or do you have something else? You just find the piracies? Yeah, you just find the piracies.
That's because I've done that too. Like if I need to watch the Cardinals on a Sunday and they're not on any of the channels we have here in Canada or in Edmonton, whatever, I just hit a stream and I have a screen and I have my laptop and then I watch one game and I have the other game or a CFL game and then the Cardinals game, and it's HD, great broadcast, like it's good quality.
The three things I'll go to, one is there's that. The other thing is there is like ESPN Plus airs a lot of games. Mm-hmm. I don't think they release their numbers. So in all that, there's probably a few extra thousand that are watching on ESPN Plus that
point.
isn't aware. Third is also there just might be a point that America does not care about hockey. There's a large portion of the country that doesn't care about hockey. We may think hockey is the greatest sport, or some people here might think it's the greatest sport, but in the end, there's probably a lot of Americans now just don't care.
It's
the greatest sport. They don't. It doesn't matter to them. And no matter what the NHL does, and no matter what ESPN or TNT do, now there's probably arguments to be made. ESPN doesn't do enough with it, but they just don't care, and they never will care. And we have to possibly accept that that's what hockey's going to be down south.
ESPN's broadcast is vastly inferior to TNT's. TNT has surpassed Hockey Night in Canada and Sportsnet, which is great for TNT, but I think it should wake us up here, put on a better product. What were you going to say about that?
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you get some famous people like like for example, how Shaq and Charles were watching it. I think if you promote it in that sense, you could probably get more people to watch down there. When I was in Scottsdale, I asked a lot of people about the NHL, and not one American cared. Not one.
Yeah. Well, there was a Forbes article that came out, like most valued franchises. Obviously, not one NHL in the top, I don't think top 100 or top 50. And they were looking at like TV numbers and this and that. And they barely mentioned the NHL. They had MLS ahead of the NHL. And I think it really is kind of floating off into no man's land in the grand scheme of things in the North American sports landscape. Pardon me, American sports landscape.
When I was at that DraftKings bar I spoke about last week, they had the sports book like you would in Caesar's Palace, and they had the Oilers and Buffalo game in the bar area where I was, and they already have their game set. So I called beforehand, and I'd called. They're there.
I need to.
I had called beforehand, like, hey, are you going to have this game on or else I don't want to come? And then they're like, no, we already, like, the manager already sets the games because it's a sports book, right? So when I went to the sports book side, they had college hockey. And behind the little TVs behind us, they had the NHL, like the little ones where you're actually facing the big board. But it was interesting to see that the big TV was an NCAA hockey game.
The NHL is a regional league.
It's regional league. It's a gate-driven league.
Yeah.
Arthur, how can Maddie say that the cap is going up, not all Canada? No, I get that. And I'm not saying that all of America doesn't like it. There is a portion of America that likes it, but it's not of a significant margin. And go look at the revenue that the other leagues make compared to the NHL, and it's not close.
And it's a record year revenue-wise, again, for the NHL.
And you're not growing. You're not growing in that massive way to compete with the other leagues. And part of that is that there's just a large portion of America that just will never care then in the end, possibly. And maybe going to 36 teams will help. Maybe being back in Atlanta and going to Houston and being back in Phoenix and going to New Orleans or something helps because you're in other markets again, and that draws a little bit more. But hockey is a gate-driven league. Mm-hmm. It's going to be regional, as you just pointed out. It's going to come down to you're in a city of 1 million. You're hoping 150,000 people will care.
Yes. But
nationally, of the 350 million people or whatever it is that live in the United States, you're not going to get to the same level. You are clear right now, I would say, fourth league. And we'll see if MLS can do anything. I don't think so now. I used to think the MLS maybe would catch up with 26 coming up with the World Cup. I don't think so, but you're clear number 4 in that world down south. Sean Bell joining us here in the Hangout. Welcome, Bellezy.
Hi. How's it going?
Good morning.
Oh, it's great.
Hi, big boy.
What's happening?
Road's
happy
a little
to see
busy.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's that ice because how cold it is and all that.
it's the ice. So I take the Henday all the way around, and as soon as you get to that Stony Plain exit, so slow.
S show.
Yeah, I agree.
I take it every day. Yeah.
Show.
Like,
Watch your
so
mouth.
slow. So yeah, that's what slowed me down.
Oh, you silly goose.
Yeah.
That was from the morning show. Okay, never mind. Okay. Okay, that was your story?
Lieutenant Eric
you want the
says,
story of how the whole
Lieutenant
thing
Eric
started
does say,
out?
why didn't Bell get a coffee? I put a fresh on for him. So if you wanted a coffee, like there's
Okay, well, I'm going to get up and go get a coffee right after.
Put in an order with
I
Eric.
want a
He's
coffee
listening.
too.
Mr.
You want
Holt,
a
Mr. Holt,
if
can I
anyone's
have a
listening,
coffee,
Jasmine
please?
and Bellezy would like coffees. So
Okay, so last night.
Yeah, I don't have the context to describe it properly.
Yeah, so we watched a goal, and I was commenting on a particular play that happened, and in hockey circles, it's referred to as a scissor play.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So
I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
usually what happens
It all
on a
makes sense.
scissor play is one guy will go this way, one guy will go that way. And so I said it was a scissor play. And then I was like not thinking about it at all, because usually when I like to stir the pot, I'm stirring the pot.
Yes.
And so I was like, they're scissoring and they're opening up holes in the D.
That was the line. It all makes sense.
And it went off. And literally, I think we went to the dressing room to see Null or to Dreisaitl.
We did.
And by the time we got back, oh, thank you, my beautiful man. There you go.
Jasmine would like
there
one
more
too,
tip where that came
possibly.
from?
There is more tip.
Can I get one? A
Oh
coffee?
yeah. Anybody else?
No, I've got
You're
coffee.
good? Yeah, you
Being
got coffee.
sarcastic.
Garcon.
Anybody else?
Come on, yeah.
Thank you. So anyway, yeah. So as soon as we came back, it was just like it blew up, and I was howling
Well,
because in
Apparently,
the
Tommy
chat,
said it was boring to watch. He said that after. That's what Big Uke says. So whatever you said, then Tommy said it was boring to watch.
Oh my god.
yeah, and it went off, and like as we're in
so
watching the video with Dreisaitl, I am like looking at this nasty chat, and it is just absolutely gone crazy, and I was howling. Like,
Well-
I couldn't stop. Like,
Hernan had the
Boring to
cackle.
watch.
No, because we were talking about the system rimming the puck.
oh,
Don't tell me you adding rimming the puck into all of this.
Talking about rimming the puck.
oh my god.
And I'm like, it's a boring style. I was being very serious, and then it just popped off. And then coming out of that, like Hernan is cackling, and I see him taking off his glasses, and he's like leaning back in his chair. I'm like, what is going on? And I see you at home on the preview screen, and you're like, you were just laughing your ass off.
There were so many good lines that like it was impossible not to look at it and just see what somebody else came up with. It was good.
And then a bunch of scissor emojis showed up in the inbox, and I was like, okay, this is it. As
My
much as I
buddy was listening
appreciate-
and he screenshotted all of it.
Wow.
Oh, nasty
Good
stuff.
viewership last
Yeah.
night. Hopefully listenership or podcast downloads are good too. But we were hot live.
Yeah,
Talking
we were.
about some very
Sexy, right?
Very
Yeah,
sexy
yeah.
things.
It was a nasty chat last
Oh,
night.
it was nasty.
Nasty chat.
Lived up to the name.
Oh, too
Oh
good.
my god, it was outrageous.
Maddie needs to know now.
Well, I just want to see what some of the comments were. I don't need to. I won't
It's
read
after
them all
Leon,
there.
I think.
Well, I found them laughing here. Like you could
Yeah,
just.
you want me to just send the screenshots to you?
I would love to get this
Okay.
to get the screenshots. I'm not going to read. I'm not going to read them fully on air, but I just want. I saw a couple of comments, but I maybe should do that after. I'll go
Oh,
through more if you have. I'll take a quick look at them.
There's some scissors in ours.
Ah,
Well, that's because now we're talking about it. So
arts and crafts time now.
Like, oh my gosh.
Well, I don't even know where it is. We were talking about the NHL numbers being down,
Yeah.
like significantly. I'm not sure if you know.
39%.
Yeah, I heard
But that
some of
was
the
opening day.
comments that you guys were talking about, some of the numbers. I think it's like multifaceted.
it's
Streaming.
never one thing. Yeah.
It's streaming, obviously.
Mhm.
I think that the lack of marketing that the NHL does, in particular in the South, is it hurts them. Because, like, you know, Matt Tkachuk,
Yeah.
when he's up here and he's in Calgary, everybody knows who he is. Goes down to Florida, nobody knows who he is.
Correct.
And you would argue he's one of our bigger stars in the game.
Absolutely.
Hence the
McKinnon.
parade.
McKinnon,
Yeah.
exactly, the
Yeah.
parade. So
Yeah.
McKinnon, McCarr, like, how are they marketed down there? So if you don't have that level of superstar, who really wants to go out and watch? So that would be another one. And I think ESPN just flat out sucks. And I think that's probably the biggest issue.
Okay, but does ESPN suck because they don't care about hockey enough, or does ESPN suck because ESPN understands that Americans don't really care about hockey, so they're not
ESPN
going
and
to bother?
hockey shouldn't be in the same sentence.
But getting back on ESPN for the NHL was huge.
Yeah, but it's
For
been-
years
it's
when they
been
were
an
on
absolute
NBC,
dud.
everyone's like, "Hey, gotta get back on ESPN. Got to get back on ESPN." Now they're back on ESPN. It's well, why are you on ESPN?
No, stay on NBC and then try to get another provider like a CBS or an ABC to pick up your games as well.
Well, ABC is ESPN.
Fair enough.
So you're
But-
not, so it would have to, but you are on TNT right now.
Yeah, but ESPN, like if you were to watch a show, and I would say if you were to watch one particular show for a month, and you told me after that month how many times hockey was mentioned, we could count it on one hand.
But the flip side to that is that it's still ESPN that's going to be like, even if you go to NBC, back to NBC, they don't have a sports channel, so that doesn't
They
change
got
that.
rid of NBC Sports, yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're on NBC again and you're on TNT, let's say you split, ESPN's still not talking about you,
Which is perfect because they don't talk about you and you're on it anyway.
but it doesn't. So you're not growing. So like, and I'll go back to: is ESPN not talking about hockey because they know people don't care about hockey, or is ESPN not talking about because they don't care? which one is it. And I think it's more they know that the people don't care.
Yeah.
They spent money to bring it back, and they're not promoting their own product that much.
I would say, you're not wrong that they don't care about it, but I've never met an American who first time shows up to a game and goes, holy, I don't like that. I've never met one. So I think it's partly the introduction to the sport. It's promoting the sport, saying why it's good, and then going from there. I mean, think about the last time Stephen A. Smith talked about the Oilers. He had Andrew Ference as a captain on the graphic when Andrew Ference hasn't been the captain of the Oilers in a long time.
10 years.
Yes.
So
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been longer.
But like he was talking about this last year when that graphic went up. So like that's the level of like I don't care that actually hurts hockey. So if you're not on ESPN, you don't have that level of disrespect. And that's just flat out disrespect. For the fact that you can't even take the time to figure out who the captain of the Edmonton Oilers is, who is the biggest player in the game to date, is just flat out disrespectful. So you're not on ESPN? Great, because at least NBC cared. They did. Like you can't see
they didn't for a number of years.
for a number of years,
they
but
did
by the
not
time
care.
that they finished off all their coverages, like they cared about hockey. It was always that game of the week, and
Sure, but I will flip on that and go that there was a lot of people that were excited about ESPN and TNT, and even ESPN for the first year that they noticed right away there was more of a production. And even ESPN's not the greatest, more than what NBC ever did. NBC didn't do a lot. They just showed you the game, but there was not a lot around it.
fair. I just like the production. Like I remember vividly like Pittsburgh versus Detroit. Like all those years when they were playing against each other, that was NBC. And those were like Doc Emmerich, and those were unbelievable broadcasts. And you'd rather watch the NBC broadcast than the CBC one, because it was like it was crisp. Like the video quality was amazing, the commentary was great, and it just felt like it elevated the product more than what we currently have.
Well, the flip side to this that might also be that we haven't brought up is, okay, who are the biggest markets in hockey?
Oh,
Like franchises. It's the Rangers, it's the Blackhawks.
I'm laughing at something Lucas texted in.
It's
Sorry.
the Pens. I'm just trying to think of who else you'd throw up there. It's the Red Wings. But you have some of those iconic franchises, the Bruins.
Yep.
Bruins are kind of dropping right now.
100%.
Everyone else is lower right now too, and that hurts when you don't have
Yes.
any of those top teams at the top of those markets. We may get annoyed of seeing Chicago in the Winter Classic. We may get annoyed of seeing the Pens in the Winter Classic, but there's a reason they're always in the Winter Classics.
Facts.
And they're not doing well right now. And that's also going to hurt the NHL. If the Penguins were top of the Eastern Conference, if the Blackhawks were closer to the top of the West, you had three of those teams. That does help the NHL numbers too right now.
Yes, I
That's
would
one
agree
thing we
I
also
would
have to
agree with you
remember,
on that.
is that there's just a couple of the two big market teams, or the bigger market teams, are crap right now.
Yeah, I would. Before we get to Tommy and his laughter,
I gotta look
I would
at what
also
Lucas
say
is having to say.
I would also say that when it comes to the Winter Classics, like I'm sorry, but nobody wants to see Columbus play. So now they're putting these games out there that are just like, come on, like nobody wants to see that. So it's killing the ratings.
Do you get excited for the Stadium Series game between Columbus and Detroit?
Hell no.
Exactly. And the Winter Classic, Maddie was talking about it earlier, like bad numbers. Chicago sucks. St. Louis sucks. And St. Louis crushed Chicago in that game. And they put it on New Year's Eve instead of New Year's Day.
Because they didn't want to go up against college football playoffs, which they still went up against college football playoffs.
100%.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tell me what you're crying.
Did you see it? Did you think it was funny?
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. So we're talking about like potential piracy, taken away from TV numbers.
Oh boy.
And Lucas from Will and the Wolf, and also happens to work for a broadcast or a
Telecommunications company. I believe
company,
that's what they're called.
writes in simply, piracy is illegal. I replied with, a TELUS employee would say that, with the
Thinking emoji.
thinking emoji. And then the reply was, you should come over tonight and physically remove food from Fred's mouth. Fred is his child.
Who made his Hangout appearance? It was fantastic.
Very
A few
fantastic.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
It's not even cable's fault that we're going back to piracy. Streaming's
I know.
fault. It's all the streaming services.
Avery actually had a good point here. Around the Horn PTI have done their part with NHL coverage. They both do show hockey.
Yes.
They show McDavid a lot. Too.
Okay, but okay, I'll switch on that. Okay, Around the Horn, I don't watch enough. PTI, I watch on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I like Around the Horn.
Hockey, for the most part, though, on PTI is part of the very last segment where they're running through the quick topics and they do 30 seconds.
True that. It's at
They
the
are
end.
not. It is. It is almost never. Or it's been a long time since I've seen it be in the top 2 blocks of the show, where it's in the first block where they go through headlines, or it's when they come from back from commercial break and they hit 2 or 3 more topics if they don't have a guest that day. Hockey is almost rarely done on PTI. They do it in that final block a little bit more. Like, hey, and it's often, I will say, the Oilers.
Yeah.
If I went through this season about how many times PTI talked about hockey, I'd probably say 70% is involving the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. But that's also like, there is a part of me though that doesn't want them to talk about it in a sense, because like Tony Kornheiser doesn't follow hockey, doesn't care.
Yeah.
And it's funny to watch. Wilbon loves his Blackhawks.
Yeah, he does.
But they don't, and LT Around the Horn is going off the air this summer anyways.
That is.
So
that would be the other
PTI
point.
does do a bit, and that is more since they've been broadcast rights holders, but it's still in the final block. It still doesn't beat the NFL, the NBA, NCAA football, NCAA basketball, golf,
If you were to
tennis. When it's majors, they do talk more tennis.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
Even
to think what
women's
else.
basketball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Those-
WNBA. Yeah.
Those
Well,
get way more.
Do you think they talk about hockey because at the end they wave the little Canadian flags? They know there's a lot of Canadian viewership.
No, so the reason that happens is years ago, PTI used to end their show. So they'd do their 30-minute block. They'd go to Sports Center on down south, and they would finish with the final segment. And then a lot of Canadians, we didn't get that ending, and we were all upset. And apparently they heard about it enough. So Tony, as a way to say bye to Canadians, he started waving the Canadian flag. That goes back years.
I see.
And it's because of the way their show used to end and how it was, we missed the segment because it would go into SportsCenter. We never got here in Canada. And he's kept it ever since.
I love
it.
that
I
kinda
show.
like
Yeah,
it.
I love
it's
that
a good show.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, if you were to rank PTI right now on the most popular shows on ESPN, where
It's
do you
up
think
there.
Where do you think it'd be?
I think it's still up there.
It's their drive time show, basically, right?
Is it?
I think so.
I think there's just so much love for that one. Pardon the interruption rating.
2 old guys that have covered sports forever that have a great rapport.
They're genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The timer is my favorite.
Me too.
Because you know what you want to be there for or listen to. And it's quick. Like, it's get to the point. I don't need a whole analysis on this. I just a quick touch base. And they're witty. Even though they're old, and I know like Box Pounder's gonna say that I always say old, dusty and crusty, like, but they're funny.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
And when they had Ray Alley as their was either producer, Stapaway, he was great. Now Ray Alley's finishing up Around the Horn. That's why I liked Around the Horn. I liked
him.
Ray Alley.
It was good.
Yeah,
He's a great host.
Yeah.
Fun concept. You
Yeah.
get points. They're completely subjective. And I think mostly for hockey, they've just used Emily Kaplan since ESPN's taken over. Like, they should get Wish on there more. Wish was great today on the morning show here on EST. Yeah, it's too bad.
I'm not sure if you heard in the car driving here, but I had mentioned, I'm like, if the NHL pumped more major like superstars, like Shaq, you know when that whole Shaq Hyman thing happened and Charles, all of them, you know how much they were pumping hockey? Like, if they did that, for example, like if you see like Jamar Chase, Trayvon Diggs, they're huge NFL players, and they're in front of the glass at NHL games. If you pumped more of these superstars, perhaps you can get more viewership that way. Or more people will be like, why are these guys interested? I'll give it a shot. You just mentioned that anybody that goes to an NHL game has enjoyed it 100% of the time.
I think they've tried to do that, like on social media.
Yeah.
But that only works for a certain, like, I guess just a certain demographic and a certain amount. Like when you look at Shaq, because Shaq is like one of the biggest crossover superstars out there. Barkley, you could argue, is becoming one, or is one of the most charismatic and one of the best personalities. You just have these guys that they're at a different level. And I think when you watch basketball and you go to the show and you see Barkley, who like everybody loves, you go see Shaq, who everybody loves. He was a rapper at one time. He was an actor, if you want to call it that, at one point. He was outspoken. He owns 1,000 businesses. Like that level of guy, when promoting your sport, puts your sport to a higher level. Does hockey have those guys?
Yeah, you can't just take from other
not
sports
really.
and bring those guys over. Because in the end, we also love Shaq, we love Kenny, we love Charles. Because, yeah, they're fun, but they also talk well about basketball.
Yes.
They break down basketball great. And Barkley's not coming and breaking down hockey to that hockey fan. That the way it is. By the way, PTI over 1 million viewers it averages.
Beautiful.
Most watched.
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
show.
I do like that show.
I will probably cry when that show ends.
It won't.
I've watched it.
So, 'cause
well,
like-
they're gonna die at some point. It will end with those two. You know.
Yeah.
Grim, but
Because
true.
like if you look at, I know what TNT's trying to do. They're trying to mimic obviously what
They're
do on
trying
the
to do
basketball
that.
Side, but and this is not to be rude to our superstars, but is Messier the same personality as Charles Barkley?
Hell no.
The personality that hockey has is Paul Bissonnette.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what kind of player was he?
But
And
he's
what kind of player was
he's
Charles
not a
Barkley?
great 100%.
That's the big difference. Dave
Yeah.
Jameson and I talked about this a lot on his show, that it was like basketball and tennis. The stars want to go on TV and talk about it, and they do it so well.
So well.
They have no
Gretzky-
problem ripping a player. You know, if Shaq's going to rip a player, the player could be like, well, who are you? And he can be like, look at these
Shaq.
rings.
Yeah,
I'm Shaq.
I'm like the
You know,
greatest
like-
center of all time.
Bring it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm going to rip you for your
Yeah.
play because I've done it and I've done it better than you.
Exactly.
And you needed, that's why like getting Wayne and Mark Messier was great for those broadcasts, but they're not those personalities that are as
100%.
great as those.
And I think that plays a big part into it. Now, PK Subban adds a little flair to it.
Absolutely.
But PK is PK, and we'll say
Your
those
former
comments
defense partner?
for off the air. But PK will give
PKGQ?
you his flair.
yeah.
Now, in the same breath, when he starts ripping a player, well, we all know how that's going to go
Not well.
because most players didn't like him.
Correct.
So there's that.
I could argue though that people that don't watch association, so hockey guys, but they love watching the TNT panel. I could argue that does bring viewership to association.
Because it's
That
great.
they-
You're right. It's
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
entertainment.
It's
But are they
great.
watching the panel or are they just watching the clips on TikTok?
Maybe both.
But
Maybe
that's what it's
That's the thing,
become.
like,
You're
it's-
right.
They know who Shaq is. They know who Charles is. They know their personalities are great. It's the number one thing they'll say about association when you talk to hockey guys and girls.
Yep, it is. But it's because of the level of star that those guys are that now draws you in. Okay, well,
Yeah.
like when those two guys go at it, when it's just like, well, Chuck has his opinion, and then Shaq turns around and he's like, no, you're wrong. You're stupid.
You're dumb.
Google me. Google me, Chuck.
Yeah.
Google me, Chuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny, but it's two superstars battling it out.
Yeah.
One won rings. One was like
He was an
really,
MVP.
he was an MVP. He was dominant for his time frame. So it's like they both know exactly what it is. And so we just don't have that on the hockey side.
You're right. I guess you don't develop personalities in the NHL market, right?
Well, unfortunately, the NHL for the longest time was like, don't give bulletin board material. You need to be this cookie cutter person and you stay inside of that zone, that area. I'm watching exactly what I say right now. So you stay in this little area and you don't go outside of it. And so now you have this whole group of players that they're all cookie cutter. There's no personality.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily true because some of those guys do have personality, but it's so ingrained in their brains that there's nothing. You can't make a noise. You can't say anything wrong. And that's what hockey's become. Now, obviously, the new generation of hockey players, it's a little bit different, but
Is it?
it's not that different.
Yeah. So
The
is
top
it different?
players-
Tell me.
No, like Connor McDavid has been trained
Look
at
at
a very
Bedard.
young age of
Boring.
dealing with the media.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why, like, there's talk. You're always given a little bit more. He's
Yeah.
trying to figure out now what he can get to, but he was trained at a young age.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that'll
Well,
get you in trouble. Crosby, the same type of thing. That's
You
what
don't hear
happens
from
in
Crosby.
hockey.
But now-
Draisaitl, he says a little bit, and then we have people here being like, well, he's so pissy. Like,
Exactly.
so like it's just one of those things. Like, you want more personality, then don't be surprised you get a snarky answer back. But at the same time, you need more personality to grow the game so more people can be like, okay, I can resonate with that guy, which is what happens. Because personality allows you to be like, I like you because of these reasons.
Okay, I'll throw this. Crosby, McDavid, when they're done with their careers, do we hear from them again?
Nope.
Hell no.
McDavid, maybe. McDavid will be the new Wayne.
Crosby will become the new Mario.
You don't hear from Mario as a ghost.
Yeah.
He's a ninja.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing him once at the draft in 2012 when we went for the scouts dinner.
Yep.
And he was there with Steve Yzerman. And I'm like, oh my God, Mario Lemieux in the flesh. He's a ninja. Like you never see
He
or
does
hear
those
from him.
training camps, right?
Yeah, but you got to pay like $10,000 to go to it.
Mhm. I know.
Maybe
someone.
even more now.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees is some of the faces of the NFL.
Yeah.
They're all on TV.
Yeah.
NBA,
Yeah.
we keep hearing from people.
know who they
no one
need?
cares about baseball.
You know who they need? They need
But
Brett Hull.
actually, Jeter, Big Poppy, those
Brett
guys
Hull.
are all on.
Yeah.
Brett Hull would be an absolute walking soundbite.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a guy that they need.
You'd have
That's
to
a
save the
personality.
beverages for later, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Screw it. Right on
give
air.
him beverages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Crack a long drink.
Sure.
Let's
All
go,
right.
Brett. Let's see what you got. Because some
Great
of the
segue.
stories about that guy when he played, that was a personality.
Yes. Well, his dad too.
The official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink. Legend of
Yeah.
1952 drink, unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada. Enter your postal code. Find a liquor store nearest you with the long drink in stock. Proud ice sponsors of the EST Fun Spiel coming up next Saturday at Shamrock.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, wow,
I have
it's right
something
around the
to
corner.
add
Yeah.
to the discussion about the new wave personality. This, you know who could be and already is a great ally for the game of hockey on ESPN. His platform is growing and it continues to be very strong. Is Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's something that if the NHL really wants to hit on and grow, and maybe they
He wasn't
find
a
a
Hall
way.
of Famer. He found a way. He's kind of like Biz in a sense.
But that's why they're friends. That's why they
Yeah.
go on each other's
But
programs.
now you need to get Biz big enough to be able to like go on WWE and have a run.
Well, I think
You
what
need
he's
them to,
saying is
like-
get on Pat McAfee more.
More Pat McAfee with hockey
yeah,
talk.
I think Pat McAfee actually does a lot of hockey.
he does. That's why I'm
He has
saying
the
that.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he genuinely loves the game of hockey. He goes into it.
Yeah.
He describes it. I think for the next wave, he's a great person, and that's a great platform to help get hockey into
Yeah.
people's mainstream.
But the thing is, people have to go to hockey games because it's a gate-driven league.
And
right
it
now.
is enjoying
And that's
a
not-
record
Yeah.
revenue year, but the numbers are down TV wise. That's what
Has
we're
to be
talking
streaming services, eh? Has to be.
about. They're having a record
it's
revenue
just
year.
maybe
right now.
Americans have been given hockey for a long time. There's a large portion of America just doesn't care about hockey. It's just that simple too. It's not the greatest sport in their
it's
eyes.
more or less that Bible Belt, right? Like
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, all that. They don't really care about it.
And even when you go to the big cities, if you go to a New York, if you go to a Chicago, as much as they do like hockey, it is not number one, it's not number
100%.
two, and it's probably not number three.
Which is funny though, because Huntsville in the SPHL, I just have to once again refrain from what I actually normally call the league, but the Huntsville does really well. Like really
Like
well.
Alabama?
Yeah. And they actually used to have a D1 hockey team as well. Like
Alabama has the Crimson Tide of a hockey team.
That's where
they
Cam
play in a
Talbot
ballroom.
played.
They play in a ballroom.
Yeah. Talbot's played there.
Like it's Talbot played there. That's right. So there is like deep South Bible Belt areas that do have hockey. And actually before the Barons got there, it was the Oklahoma City Blazers in the East Coast Hockey League, and they were sold out almost every single game.
But they papered with free tickets. Remember
it
that?
doesn't matter.
The-
They
the
still
other-
showed up.
Well, I'll go to this because I remember this with TFC in Toronto. They would get sold out almost BMO Field for a long time, but
Yeah.
their team numbers were never close to an Argos game. And what I remember being told was basically every TFC fan in Toronto goes
Yep.
to the games, and there are no other fans of TFC. Whereas the Argos, people just don't go to the games, but there's a larger audience. I think that's the one thing in those markets.
Yep.
You're getting all the hockey fans going there. There's just not a lot of others.
Yeah.
If 500 people didn't show up, just decided not to show up for a game,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to sell 500 more tickets type thing. You've got all the hockey fans showing up. It's a very small pool to pick from.
Yeah. And you got to have a bit more physicality in the game to draw those people in my opinion.
Hockey is also just an expensive sport overall. And it's becoming, it's more golf and tennis than the other sports in terms of participation.
Out of curiosity, let's Chicago, for example. You're saying that if the Bulls aren't great and the Blackhawks are doing better, the Bulls are still going to triumph with
No.
the fan base? Because they're huge
That's not true.
Blackhawk fans, right?
It's the Blackhawks when they're
Yes.
at the top of their game. They're right there. They're on
With
everybody's
the
mind.
like the Bears are a terrible team, but
Yeah.
Bears are going to
But
be
would you-
number one in that town, 100%.
they still will be. Hey, even though
they're
they
the
suck.
NFL.
Okay,
They are the NFL.
Yeah.
But I would say if the Blackhawks are at the top of their game, they're not far behind.
all right.
I
That's
would-
pretty great.
Yes.
I would argue that the Blackhawks
Bruins.
at their prime are like a 1B to the Bears.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably slightly better than the Sox.
Okay, let's say all teams are great.
I would
Let's
go.
say the Bears
I
are
would
having
go-
a great season. The
I'd go
Bulls are having a great
Bears.
season.
I'd go
The
Bears.
It's going to be Bulls.
Cubs or Bulls, then
Cubs or Bulls. The Blackhawks will drop to
Cubs
4.
do, eh? Mhm.
If they're all good,
I don't know if they're gonna
Blackhawks
drop
gonna
to
drop
4.
to 4. It's not like it's not a terrible thing. It's not like no one cares, but the tension will probably be. Here's what I'll do. Chicago Tribune usually have those articles like sports.
Yes.
How do they list them?
I would think Blackhawks would go to 3. And I would say the Bulls would go to 2. The Sox would be 4. But I don't think it's very far.
the White Sox are like
The
an
Cubbies.
afterthought. It's the Cubs,
Cubs,
in Chicago,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here's
Okay,
a weird example of. I'll just leading into this. Here's a weird
Damn it.
example of Chicago and where it's at with hockey.
Oh.
So in the parking garage at O'Hare, like I don't know if it's still like this, but each parking level had a team: Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, Blackhawks. Even the Chicago Wolves had a floor because that's how popular they are.
Actually, that's funny that you mentioned that because I was actually just going to bring that up. So when the Blackhawks, before, like obviously they were doing really well, they weren't very good. The Wolves were actually getting better attendance
Yes.
than the Blackhawks were. So hockey in Chicago is like a big time thing.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, did you find it?
Well, I was just going like sometimes I'll look at like newspapers and when they list the tabs, it goes in the order of
Important.
like
Yeah.
importance.
Yeah.
The Tribune goes Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, Sky. The Sun Times goes Bears, High School, Outdoors, which is weird. Cubs, White Sox, Sky, Bulls, Blackhawks. That one is so very
Just
weird.
high school. Everything high school is better than all the rest of the
Okay.
sports.
I found the Chicago subreddit. They wanted to do the hierarchy of sports popularities. The one person who started this says it goes Bears, Cubs. They also rank Cubs 1 in 2016 because they won, but they go Bears, Cubs, Bulls, White Sox, Hawks.
You.
Bulls and Hawks switch spots depending on whether or not either team is good. So
Yeah.
the Hawks, when they're good, according to this person, jumps to 3 in that market.
Yeah.
Hawks are better than the Bulls these days. This person's agreeing to the rankings. I'm just trying to see if I can see anyone else that's saying that Blackhawks should go higher.
I think they're top 3 in that city when they're at their peak.
They are important. Like if
Yep.
they're in the Stanley Cup final or they're on a playoff
Yep.
run, it's a big game. They're the number one
Right.
story on the sportscast.
Right, so they have to be a Stanley Cup winning team to move up to 3. If not, they're 4 or lower based on standings in that market because that's what hockey is. in
But
that
that's
market.
a subreddit that we're basing it on.
From Chicago.
right.
These people, I'm going to trust these people from Chicago a little more than us here in Edmonton.
Why? Because it's on the internet, Maddie?
Well, no, because they're from Chicago. I'd also trust the Sun Times and the Tribune there in terms of their order a little bit and go, okay. Like, and you even said the Hawks, if they are cup contenders, move up.
They're ahead of everyone if they're cup contenders.
They
Like,
are
if-
not ahead of the Bears in terms of popularity
Yes,
in that
if
city.
the Bears suck and the Hawks are on a run, they're getting the top.
Well, different
story.
times of the year, but in the end, you're not going to have more Hawks fans in that city than Chicago Bear fans. The NFL owns the United
I'm not
States.
arguing that. But this subreddit is like if Dave Jablonski in Collingwood goes, here are, and he creates a subreddit and goes, here are my rankings of the top teams in Edmonton.
This is a Chicago
Alex.
subreddit. This is people from
Yeah, I
Chicago that are
know.
commenting on it. But okay, let's make I'm putting things equal. Everyone's great or everyone's crap. What's the order?
Blackhawks are 3.
And a lot of people right now, what I'm reading in Chicago, it's 4.
I'm
But even
surprised
then,
by the White
it's 3.
Sox.
It's even 3.
3 is good to me.
Sure,
three
but that's
puts
the
you-
level of hockey in the States. Is
Yeah.
that in one of its best markets, the best it could do is 3.
Which I'm fine with. I'm actually
what's
okay
wrong?
with.
Are we mad at that?
Because that's
No,
one of,
I'm
you,
just
that's
saying
one of
that,
the
like,
why are you
biggest
yelling
markets
at
you
us?
have.
Absolutely.
Well, you're yelling at me too there with that.
Children. Children.
This is the level that hockey is going to get to.
Okay, so now let's just say that they are hockey fans and then they know that McDavid is the best player and they want to see him. tickets today, I'm looking right now. You can get as low as $23.
Yeah, well, that building's 22,000 and the team sucks. But when the Hawks suck, people tune them out.
And in the States, who's McDavid?
I mean, people know who McDavid.
No, they
Some
don't.
do.
Not really.
No, they don't. Honestly, I would say, tell me 5 cities that you actually think that they would know 100%. Like if you walk down the street,
Chicago would be one
and
of them.
you did a poll and you went to 100 people, could you get 50% of those people knowing who Connor McDavid was?
Boston,
Give me 5 cities.
Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Buffalo.
Is that not a problem that you just had to go, but that's a problem?
Yeah, probably.
It's a
So who's the biggest
Detroit.
star? Who's the biggest star in football right now?
Pat Mahomes.
Perfect. And you see this guy everywhere. That is the face of the NFL. And once again, I don't think that you're ever going to get to the levels of the NFL.
No.
But like, who's the biggest star in the NHL? It's Connor McDavid. Why is he not plastered everywhere that you can read or see something? He should be everywhere. Like, that guy should be like, it should be almost to the point where like, okay, enough of Connor McDavid. That's the level of marketing the NHL needs to do to get their players and stars to that level.
I would argue that Ovechkin is someone that people recognize.
Well, that's purely because he plays in Washington, and that's purely because he's an absolute personality, right? Like, he was swimming in a fountain when they won the cup, and he was viral with that. Like, hockey players don't normally do that stuff.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is that like, we look at Patty Mahomes, he's on every single commercial here in Canada.
Yeah.
He plays in Kansas City, which is, if you're looking and ranking the top cities in the US, it's not very high on that list.
No, I've been
And he
there.
plays in that city, and he's that level of superstar, and he's everywhere. Different levels of marketing, different ideas. If you're face of your league, you should be everywhere.
How do we get Connor McDavid to do a mashup with Jake from State Farm? That would be huge.
That'd be wicked.
I did make a joke there, but it's also kind of true because Jake from State Farm is like a superstar.
Superstar.
Yeah.
Because he did the commercial with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake, Pat Mahomes,
Yeah.
he's funny. They show him on broadcast.
But isn't this Gary's problem?
Gary?
Isn't it his problem, though? That this is a marketing issue?
Yeah,
Kelsey's brother, who is a center, or was a center for the Philadelphia Eagles. The O-line is probably the most boring position in all of the NFL. This guy has become a star.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a big hockey guy.
He's
He
a
played.
massive hockey guy.
Yeah.
But my point is that a guy who is in the middle of the most boring position in all of the NFL has become a star, a bigger star that you probably could argue in marketing circles than Connor McDavid.
He definitely is a bigger star than Connor McDavid.
That's a problem.
It's always been a problem in the world of hockey.
If there was, like, for me, like, if Draisaitl was in any commercial, every single German car commercial out there, Draisaitl should be a part of.
What, you didn't like the skip the dishes one where he did the
Man,
smock thingy?
The flip side, though, is those companies have to pay for those players, and they're sitting there saying, "We don't want an NHL player. That's not helping us sell
That's a
this
good
guy, or
point.
sell our cars."
Well,
Who's Connor McDavid to me? I want Jason. People know Jason
That's
Kelce.
a problem.
I'm going to use more of Jason Kelce because people care about the NFL, or I'm going to use a basketball player because people care about the NBA. No one cares about hockey. I'm not.
That's
using a
the
hockey
problem.
player. I'm not paying them.
Yeah.
Can't read this.
I agree with you. Yeah, go ahead.
So AB in the Nasty chat, Taylor Swift needs to dump Trav and date an NHL player. It's problem solved. That's very smart. Very smart. If I was Gary, I'd pay Taylor to do that.
You don't have enough money in the NHL to do that.
Bankrupt the league.
$1 billion.
Just saying. That's brilliant. But that is actually
Give her a
true.
team in Arizona.
This is true. This is why, everything's happening with the NFL. This is why yesterday on SportsCenter, on TSN, I see Taylor Swift and Mahomes. Like, literally, it was like her picture, and then it was Mahomes. I lost it, and I shut the TV off. Okay, so let's talk about NFL now. or NBA. There's lots of association. I'm sorry. I know we're gonna beat to death the NHL market in the South. You opened it up with this, eh? With the viewership, and we all lost it.
I'm fine with that. We've had a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, Bellezy, don't worry.
And shout out who texted in and said, Tom, you know Dave Jablonski as well? Small world. I just made up a name. If there's a Dave Jablonski in the West End, that's amazing.
That is awesome.
I do want to say quickly, portions of this hour of the EST Hangout, they're brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out at highproductmarketing.com. Heads up too. We do have the EST Fun Spiel that's taking place next Saturday, but March 15th, we do got the Heavy Hockey Showdown that Team EST is taking part in as we go up against Team Heavy Hockey. We're raising funds for SACE, the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. If you head to edmontonsportstalk.com, at the top, it's HH Showdown. If you click that is our fundraising page. We got 175 people watching on YouTube. We've got a bunch of people listening. If everyone put $5 towards that right now,
and like
boom,
the show,
we would be right at our fundraising goal that we are going for. So if you can,
awesome.
help us support in raising money for the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton, and come out, support us on March 15th as Team EST will be taking on Team Heavy Hockey. You want to get to the NBA, Jasmine?
Yeah, okay.
Sean Bell, Jasmine, Matt, and Tom with you here, by the way.
All right. So I don't think we had any of our thoughts on Luka and what happened with Dallas.
Sorry.
Was that you were asking a question there?
Well, I want your guys' like, what did you think?
I think
or
Dallas.
what do you feel?
I
What's
think
happening?
Dallas got tired of Luka's antics and decided to say we're not going to pay this guy $345 million.
The Supermax.
Yeah, you screw him out of what? Yeah. Screw him
They
out of
said
extra.
117 million yesterday on the broadcast.
And it sounds crazy because what really are Luka's antics?
Mhm.
But he's not very good defensively. He actually, I think at one point was like costing them a series based on, against the Celtics actually, based on how he was playing defensively. The Celtics just basically went after him the entire time. So there's that. And then as you were getting picked apart defensively, you were consistently complaining about the refs. You're consistently yelling at your own bench. So I think they just got tired of that stuff. And then whenever things went well, like you saw the video, I think that surfaced again when he got traded, one of the front office staff basically grabbing the beer out of Luka's hand after
Wasn't
the
that
game.
the assistant GM?
Yeah,
Finley?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't
Yeah.
he have beef with him or
Yeah,
no?
so clearly there was issues behind the scenes, and I think they were just tired of that.
Yeah, and they're insinuating that he like weighs 270 pounds. He did not look like that yesterday.
He is not weighing
No,
270.
There's
but
no
they,
way.
and they're insinuating things about him that
Yeah.
he drinks a lot or he eats a lot or that he's FAT, which is really mean.
What if he shows up next year shredded?
Would it help if he was PHAT?
I guess. Ask Dallas.
They didn't want to pay money. I'm going to that. They didn't want to pay him the Supermax, and owners are probably trying to find a way to maybe get out of how do you pay Supermax, and you can't let them walk, so you're trading them now. They don't want to pay these guys this big of money. And
I could see that too.
that's because there isn't anything else. He led them to an NBA Finals single-handedly last year. I don't care if he even maybe have lost them that.
Yep.
The Celtics were a great basketball team. There was no
100%.
beating the Celtics.
I
And
don't disagree with you.
That's
at all.
where I
It's-
go with it's something else, and it's probably that because it's not Mark Cuban who's the owner of the Mavs. There is new ownership. They're guys that own hotels in Vegas, and I think they're trying to build hotels in Dallas or something, or
Yeah.
casinos, I should say.
Yes, this is right.
They probably just don't want to spend the money. They're too cheap in that sense, and they moved on from Luka, and it's the Lakers.
Did
take
Alex
management.
Morello buy the Mavs? Because that's what it sounds
No,
like.
it's the Adelsons or something like
yeah,
that.
it's
I'm
Miriam
joking.
Adelson.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So there's a rumor saying that he wanted to tank the team because they want to build a casino and resort with the current stadium, and they never got approval. So basically, if the team is bad in the near future, they can threaten to move them to Vegas or get their resort casino approved in Dallas.
This is like a modern day major league.
They ain't moving.
They gave the refund to the
Nice.
season ticket holders.
Yeah, but
there.
they're not leaving. They can't leave that. The NBA won't allow it. Because it's LeBron and Fenway Sports Group is going to take over Vegas. Everyone knows that part of it.
And they've already got plans for a new arena on the north side of the strip. I think they have the land too.
I think the whole thing's crazy at the end of the day. He's like, I think somebody mentioned in the Nasty chat, he's 25 years old.
Yep.
And he's a legit all-star. Yeah, superstar. Legit. I don't personally see why you trade him. Like, if you think he can't play defensively, teach him how to play defensively.
Or build a team around him that could play defensively for you.
Or that. Like, I don't know, do stuff that are going to help you. Like, this guy's a pretty, notable player in the league. So,
some people are saying the biggest trade ever.
Could be.
Like, the disrespect 80's getting in this trade is actually quite something.
Nobody cares about 80.
Like, everyone is just be like, they got nothing.
Luka.
The Mavs came up for just trash.
Yeah.
And 80's still a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, he is, maybe, he's still only 31, so there's still years left in him. Now, does battle some injuries in times, but he's a good basketball player. And it's like, I was telling Brendan before the show, there was one rank I saw that gave an F to the Mavs. I was like, you got AD.
That's unbelievable.
Maybe C- here or something, but that's how good Luka is.
Andrew in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, sums it up this way. He goes, as a Mavs fan, I have never been more disappointed. To the Lakers of all teams, he carried that team to the finals, and they traded him for an older, injury-prone, although not as much lately, Anthony Davis. I am so upset.
And Mavs fans have every single right to be pissed.
Absolutely.
They were doing a funeral outside of American Airlines Center the other day for the Mavs with a coffin. I was just my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like how
Like,
Mark
the trade
Cuban
is-
didn't even know. Yeah.
Trade's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
But there has to be something behind the scenes. And that's
Exactly.
why I brought that up, right?
This is
right away.
fishy. I feel like this is so fishy that there's so much more that's going to happen that we don't know about here.
Do you think it was just flat out a personal vendetta?
Who's the personal vendetta?
I'm not sure.
Is it the Michael Finley personal vendetta? Have you
Maybe.
heard that part of it?
No, but like,
The Michael Finley personal vendetta is Luka was 300 points shy of passing Finley in the all-time Mavs scoring record.
That's
He was the guy that took the beer away from Luka.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
And he's the assistant GM.
Yeah, bye-bye,
so
fat Luka.
it was like, hey, we're going to help.
But like, because it's been a bit of a smear campaign too, like with he's fat, he's 270 pounds, like, okay, he's out of shape, he doesn't do enough, he's consistently crying to the refs, like, which is all some things like the crying to the refs thing, Luka does do that lots. But at the same time, like, you don't now all of a sudden just be like, well, he was 270 pounds. If you think he's out of shape, why would he give a guy that, is that good, that's constantly out of shape, that much money? Because that's how they're spinning it.
And it could be just as simple as that, straight up, that these are cheap-ass owners that are sitting there going, we're not giving Luka that money. We're never giving anyone that money. Why should they get that money? That's my money. We're going to cheap out. We're going to just put a team on the court. We're going to make our money.
I don't strike the Mavs as being a team like that, though.
Yeah,
But it's the owner.
I think
It's who those guys are.
Mark Cuban might not have been like that.
No.
Mark Cuban would have never been like that.
No.
And I think that's why we're looking at the Mavs still as Mark Cuban's team, but they're not Mark Cuban's
No, he owns
team.
what, like 25%?
Yeah, he sold the majority of the team. He doesn't have a say.
Yeah.
They have the ultimate power in all this. And I think it's just, they're cheapskates from an pro sports perspective.
345 mil. Hey, that's nice. So.
But see, that's where pro sports has changed. Is now like the team being worth a couple billion probably right now that we've
Their
hit that
value tanked, though.
because of the sale.
Yeah.
Who says that?
It had to.
I bet you can still sell them.
Forbes only does it like once a year or something.
But these teams worth billions of dollars are now becoming entities within these mega conglomerates that they're just a chip on the table. That's what they become. They're not the sole focus, to the point where Luka and his $350 million, it's not about winning championships, prestige, all of that, pride in the organization, the city. It's this big conglomerate, faceless, huge corporate machine that just wants to make money, goes, oh, we can't give that guy that much money. We need to make X amount of profit as part of this casino resort deal. So if the team wins, great. If they don't, whatever. Here's your budget. Deal with it. Stay within the parameters. Like, that's what it's becoming with sports teams, it feels like.
Yeah. But Maddie made a point where it's like, and Maddie, you'll have to chime in because if I'm mistaking it, but it's We don't want to pay him because he's going to leave anyway. Now,
Well, it could be. I think for future
Yeah.
owners, I think some might look and I don't want to pay a supermax, and
He
I can't
bought
let
a
him walk for
$50
free.
million house last week.
true, but do you think partly because the NBA is such a player-dominated league and superstar players, they talk to other superstar players to team up with other superstar players, that now owners are trying to maybe take a little bit of power back?
Well, if there's one sport where like players could just leave and like I've always like start their own league and they'd be fine, would it be the NBA? They run those leagues.
Yeah.
It could be. This could be the owners going, we're tired of for lack of a better term, inmates running the asylum here. We're
Yeah.
going to run this now.
Yeah.
And we'll show you, oh, yeah, you think you're going to get Supermax? Well, we're going to cost you 117. We're going to trade you. We don't care. We'll go get someone else. We've got 80.
Because you'll do
We're
that
still
to
going to
us
go play.
anyway. Yeah.
You're going to walk anyway. Who cares? We'll go draft someone else and we'll deal with them for a few years and then we'll trade them.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
they're
got,
close to
it
the
got
Supermax.
Embiid playing your favorite player. I think Maxey had the most points in that game still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embiid,
Yeah. Best friend.
just a weapon.
What really matters is this just sets the Lakers up for like 10 years, which is wonderful.
Yeah, Maddie was so
You're
happy
such a
today when I
little rat.
walked in.
It's
Just glowing.
unbelievable.
Which is
That's the first.
wonderful.
The first thing I thought of was you when as soon as that trade happened. I'm like, how big is a
texted him
smile
too.
does this guy have on
Yeah.
his face?
I texted him.
It was, it's wonderful. And it's
No rim
once
protection though.
We're nets. Well, it's fine. Like long term though, we're set post LeBron.
True, but you guys have no bigs.
Well, they'll go
That's
get
why you guys
someone.
keep. That's why you keep calling the Raptors to try
They'll
to
go
get
get
total.
someone. But moving forward, like when LeBron ultimately does leave, there's Luka. They'll have the money to go spend in free agency to go get a big and build a team around Luka.
Okay, are they?
Right now it's
are they a championship team right now?
If they go get a big, yes.
Who's going to give them a
LeBron had
big?
21 points in the first
I don't
quarter
know.
yesterday.
But if they get a big, yes. I think they could win the title this year.
But who's giving them the big?
We'll find out by tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it's deadline.
Tomorrow's deadline.
Did I see Bronny playing yesterday?
Yeah, his first 3-pointer.
Sweet.
That's outrageous.
Swish.
Yay, sports.
Association.
Boom shakalaka.
So I guess LeBron going to Golden State, that's not going to happen now.
Good talk, Maddie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading something. I got a message there. So, no. Pants out. LeBron's sticking with the Lakers.
You think,
Post the deadline.
you think Durant will head back to Golden State?
It's a lot of what the rumors are.
He's getting moved though.
Tomorrow is going to be a very wild day.
Yeah.
I'm excited
up
for
for
him.
Yeah.
Me too, actually.
Are you? Though,
I think
Tom?
you.
No.
I think you.
That's
What?
full
Just
of
try.
I have just tried and it just doesn't work.
Weren't you excited about the Luca stuff though?
I was
You
oddly
care.
curious about it.
There you go.
I've
enticed you.
I've read about it,
Yeah.
I've
yeah.
tracked it, but it's like, oh, that's crazy. And then I move on back to hockey and football
Reality.
and reality.
Okay.
What are your three big sports, Tommy?
Hockey, football, and probably I don't know. I just those two.
Fair enough.
I don't mind baseball. I don't care about the Blue Jays. I just like baseball. Football, both leagues. NCAA, I don't bother with that much. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Golf, kind of.
Yeah.
I rather play golf than watch it, but I watch it.
You're basically just a
Basic.
2-horse race for you.
I know who I am,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that.
You're almost 40 years old. You gotta know who you are. I get it.
Very comfortable with
Yeah.
what I've become, whatever this is.
Would you be okay with Dwight Howard to the Lakers?
No. They did that with him. They won
Yeah,
a title with him. I'm good.
exactly.
But that was 2020. I don't need Dwight Howard now. Go get someone else. Just an average. Like, you don't need a crazy big, but just go get some big.
You need a guy that can actually protect the rim.
Yeah.
Because
if-
you're going to have to make up for Luka.
If Luka could carry one team single-handed to the NBA Finals, LeBron will finish it off in the finals.
I'm actually going to flip that. I think Luka becomes the guy that's going to finish it off
Okay, still.
because he's got a little bit more of that like cutthroat. I'm going for your head
Okay.
than
in the
LeBron
end,
does.
so the Lakers win the title either way. I'm happy.
They're not winning it this year.
Well, but you're saying if it's Luka, then LeBron will then carry it on to the NBA
but I
Finals.
think
Luka's going to finish
They
it
need
off.
to get a big
Yeah,
that
they
will
do.
put them into the conversation to help on the defensive end.
But they have
If they don't get it,
they have done well without Luka right now and without AD. And big win yesterday against the
playoffs
Clippers.
are different. You know that.
I know, but if you have Luka and LeBron together, I think that they could challenge certain teams rather well with Austin Reeves there as well. Like it's a decent team. Right now they're 5th in the West. And it's much harder in the West than it is in the East this year. You're now putting Luka into that mix.
You didn't make a point at all. You didn't make 1 point there.
Well, they're
You
a good
actually
basketball
shot
team.
the point down. They are. Nobody here has ever said that they
but
weren't good.
No, I know, but there's a challenge there. They have a chance to go win a title with this team. If they don't get a big tomorrow, if they get a big, I think their chances of winning are really good. If they don't, you still have LeBron. And LeBron is a ridiculous man. You can't bet against LeBron. We've seen him do some crazy things. And now you're adding Luka to the mix of this?
You guys should just fight.
Okay.
5th place team.
Yeah. And they've won the last couple of games without AD or Luka. It's a pretty good game.
February
They dominated the Clippers yesterday in LA.
Yeah,
And by in LA, I mean in Clippers. In
And
Intuit
Clippers
Dome.
were
just
favored
walking
8 and a
across the street?
half.
Well, they're down the
8.5. And I think it
went-
was a 21.
The Lakers went
over-
5-1 on
Yeah.
their Grammys road trip.
Yes, we didn't even get, that's not even, Kuzma trade too. That happened before the show.
Huh.
February 25th, Mavs are in LA. Keep that on your calendar.
I want a Mavs-Lakers playoffs.
You know what would be a cool final? The Land versus Lakers. Storylines galore. Cleveland, by the way, is the Land. It's nicknamed the Land. Just so you know.
It won't be. It'll be OKC up there. Okay, I actually want to get to this before we run out of time.
When did OKC fall in the playoffs last year? They didn't get to the conference finals, did they?
They did.
They got to the conference.
Yeah.
It was the Nuggets that failed because I was hoping for the SGA versus Murray conference
Yeah,
finals.
OKC is going to run the table, though.
Nope. So.
They're so good.
SGA averages
They're so
32
good.
points a game.
And I know that hurts
Yeah.
you deep.
No, that part
It hurts
I
you.
can't rip
Yeah.
on them right now because I don't want to rip on SGA because he's a Canadian.
Yeah.
They're
He's our
Good
boy.
guy.
so good.
He's our boy. I can't rip on our boy.
So in Nasty today, this morning on the Nielsen and LT show. So he asked a question and I wanted to chime in, but I was too busy. He said that he's going to a Super Bowl party with the girl that he's seeing.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl party, I believe, is a bunch of dudes like that she works with, a bunch of guys. But he is not an NFL fan. He is just a hockey guy. And he doesn't know what to do.
Can you explain this again?
Yeah.
So a listener texted in today for advice, and he said so he's going to a Super Bowl party with the girl that he's seeing. So it's a fresh relationship, and it's going to be all guys that are big NFL guys, I assume, because it's a Super Bowl party. And he said that he doesn't know anything about NFL, and what should he do? Like, should he go
have fun.
Should he pretend?
No.
So she's taking him.
Yeah,
to
she
this
invited
party?
him. Exactly, she invited him to her guy work friend party.
Just go enjoy it.
There's no. You never really talk football.
You don't need to talk about X's and O's.
Hey, that's a nice play. That's a difficult play or whatever.
Thanks. I'll have it later. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi,
Very
Cubbish.
good, Zach, to come.
Wait, you don't want me to call you Zachy anymore? I have to call you Coob like the rest of these guys?
Ice Cube.
How dare you? I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Zach. That's very nice of you.
He never said that. I just wanted to scare him.
Well, just go have fun. You don't have to talk about the game. Hang out with your girl. You don't have to be like, I think so-and-so's defensive secondary prowess is substandard. No,
You should actually come out and just have the most outlandish takes possible.
just have them in a notepad. Yeah.
So I didn't like the advice that was offered to him. It was like, everybody was like, you need to go study this, or
No,
you
you
need to do
don't.
this,
No.
or like throw some takes out. It's like, no, if you're honest and you're like, yo, I'm not a huge NFL guy.
Yeah.
And also, if you're not a huge NFL guy, don't talk NFL. Like, it's embarrassing because like I don't want to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
You're not, because you don't care and I don't care what you're saying to me.
The worst conversations are X's and O's conversations.
It's like I'd rather talk to someone that cares about it. We can talk about anything else. You like hockey? Let's talk about hockey then.
Right.
Right? You're a
Be
hockey
you.
guy, say you're a hockey guy.
Or just be like, I'm here for the commercials.
Yeah, I'm here for Kendrick. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Is he gonna drop Drake's name at halftime?
Don't be that guy where you just throw takes out there. It's just annoying because I know a lot of, as a woman, and like a lot of people know I love sports, but they'll be like not huge sports people and they'll start talking about sports to me and I'm like, just stop. Like we can talk about anything else in the
Maybe they're
world.
trying to learn.
You can ask me questions. They're asking me questions. They're giving me their freaking take on the highlight they saw last night. Like, do you think I give a rat's ass what you think?
That's very welcoming of you.
No, it's just like
Why
we
are
can
you
talk
like
about
that?
fashion, the weather, traveling.
We need to dive into this.
What? I'm saying if you're going to this party, be like, I'm a hockey guy. Oh, great. What team do you like? Oh, really? What do you think? Like, that's more of a conversation. Not
Trev just got 897 in our track and field game on our tech mobile.
He's got
show.
very fast fingers
They got
and strong wrists for some
897.
reason.
Oh my heavens.
back to the scissoring, eh?
No, move on. Move on as quickly as we can. Jasmine, why are you
so
like
mean
this?
to people?
Why are you like
Mean.
this?
Because then I have to sit there and I have to put the face on, and I can't because I have such a telling face. Then I have to pretend to care, and I don't. And then I have to interrupt them.
Why?
And be
Okay,
like, I have to go to the
Are
bathroom.
you yelling
I
at
need
this
an-
guy that's going to the
I need
Super
an
Bowl
example
party
of
with
this.
his girl?
Give me like
Yeah.
an actual legit example. So like if
Yeah, you're very
I don't
angry
know.
right now.
I'm not, I want this guy to be himself. I
Okay,
don't want him
but,
to pretend.
but why
I want
can't
him to
they
have a
have
good time.
opinions still?
Well, it's because they're trying to make me like engage with them or like make me happy or whatever. It's like, dude, I'll talk to you about anything.
What if they're actually like
just not about hockey.
Because if you don't know anything about hockey, let's say association, because that comes up a lot. I get a lot of people giving me, they'll straight up be like, yeah, I don't watch NBA. Like, I almost yelled at Yuki. Actually, I did yell at Yuki at one of our watch thingies we did at
That
Century
is so
Casino.
mean.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
did.
why did you yell at him? I just need to understand.
I just
Yeah.
remember I was like talking to, I think it was DVD maybe, and we were talking about association, and he chimed in with his like 2 cents on association, and I was like, why are you chiming in when you don't know anything about NBA?
Maybe you just want to talk to
Why
you. and
can't
that
he
was his
still have
way
an
in.
opinion on the
Because he
NBA?
wanted us to like stop talking about NBA and wants to like talk about hockey. You know what I mean? It's just like,
But didn't you say you want to talk about hockey?
hold up.
I'm so confused.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I feel like I need to be mad, but I don't know why.
This guy, we're talking about.
Can we get a map of this, please? Like, I need pins. I need like string attached.
Yeah.
How does this all attach?
Like for example, like a majority of people I know are Oilers fans, right? Like
And you're a Canucks fan.
no, okay.
You're from Vancouver. We're glad you're in town.
I just
Okay.
got back.
So person X walks in and just has a take on the NBA. You want to tell him to piss off?
Oh, that's so mean.
But you basically just said that's what you do.
No, but they can be like, oh, this Luka trade seems like it's really crazy right now for you guys. Like, yeah, that's true. Not like, so yeah, I don't know, who cares? And let's just keep talking about it. It's like if you don't care, then don't talk to me about it. Like they'll just throw in names, throw players, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know. What I'm telling this guy is be yourself.
Okay, but if he
Okay.
goes in there and he says, I really don't like this Patrick Mahomes fella, you think that's bad?
Yeah, see, that's a good take, actually. It is just like, how do you not like Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks. And this guy's just making a stupid take.
But then-
Now
Well,
just
But
looks
he doesn't
stupid.
like Patrick Mahomes.
I don't like
Why can't-
Patrick Mahomes,
It's-
but
he's not
numbers
saying he
don't lie.
sucks because that's
I'm
a
not.
lie.
Yeah, I didn't say he sucks. He says
says,
I don't like this
him."
Patrick Mahomes. But you would be upset if he said that because he doesn't watch the NFL.
I would honestly lose respect for the guy.
Because he doesn't like Patrick Mahomes.
I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying but he's not a bad quarterback.
I didn't say that.
Nobody
I
said
said
that.
the guy sits there and he goes, "Yeah, I don't like this Patrick Mahomes guy." You think he should shut up?
No, I don't know what you're taking it to another
We are
level.
I'm trying to
Definitely.
figure out
Yeah.
what you're saying here. I'm trying to figure out what this guy is allowed and not allowed to say
Basically-
during a Super Bowl game. Since he doesn't watch the NFL, what is he
can
allowed to say about the
that,
NFL?
Because he
But you
probably
said he
knows
can't
enough.
say that.
No,
We
I'm
are
saying-
chasing our tail here.
I'm saying stop talking about analytics and such to people
Where did
that-
analytics come from?
New segment. Love advice with Jasmine.
Jargon with Jasmine.
So, okay, if he sits down, so he could sit down and be like, I'm not a big fan of this Patrick Mahomes guy.
That's
fine.
fine.
But if he sits there and says,
Oh,
you want to
man,
know
this is
something?
great.
I think the Eagles should be playing a zone defense instead of a man defense. You think, who does that?
Like, you know what, man?
Who does that part?
Jump off a cliff.
But like, what casual person just all of a sudden starts breaking it out? Some guy who's never watched hockey before just is sitting down and be like, you want to know something? The Oilers' PDO is a little high this year. You can't sustain that one.
Oh my
Is
god.
that what you're saying?
I feel like that is.
And
what
if
she's
that person does,
I don't know where
like,
this went. Yeah.
I don't know where it went
sorry.
either. But like, I felt like there was aggression there.
Yeah, you
There was
yelled.
like you had some
I
spite
always
to you,
I still just,
but I don't know where this went.
Okay.
I just don't understand what people are allowed and not allowed to say to Jasmine about a sport they don't particularly
Yeah.
know.
That's not what I meant. That
Alright,
came off so wrong.
Do you hate this listener that asked a simple
No.
question?
I thought it was
It's
a
other
great
people.
question.
It's
Listener-
other people in the world that come up to her and ask her about basketball, but
Right.
they don't know basketball. She gets pissed with them.
How
apparently,
dare
or
they
something.
ask about
Because
it?
then
my
she has to
God.
go to the bathroom and leave because she's mad at them. And that's
needs
what I'm
to
just trying
take
to
a
figure
time out.
I'm just trying to figure out what's the line of where you're like, stop talking, let's switch to something else. And hey, that's okay.
Do you give
We're
them
having-
hints too?
I
To
tried
be like, dude, you need to stop talking.
Yeah, I like try to divert the conversation to something different. I'm like, so, like, you like the Oilers? Like, what did you think about the game last night or something? Because I know that they don't want to talk about the NBA, but they're trying to talk about it with me.
Okay, but now what happens if they talk about the NHL when you move the conversation to the NHL after you're already pissed off about the NBA, and then they go, well, yeah, like I thought the Oilers played a really good, man zone defense. Does that like now get you to another level of upset? Because they're like, do the Oilers play man zone?
No.
No, they don't.
This guy came off really annoying.
Okay, I have another question.
All right,
Okay,
let's
so somebody comes in. What's the line of them just trying to learn the NBA from you? Just having simple takes from the NBA that you're okay with, and then you get upset. Stop talking NBA. You don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on to something you know. What 3 examples of like
Yeah,
of that?
I need to know.
Because the conversation is simply boring. It's a boring conversation. It's
Okay,
like,
but
let's
what's the
talk about
line of
something
them
you
trying
like
to
as well.
learn?
They could just say they want to learn. They don't say that.
Okay, but what's the line of them just asking questions that because no one ever just says, but
Questions
I just
are
want to
fine.
learn about the NBA. Okay, what's the line though of that to
God.
you're too
We need
far.
to move
questions.
on.
You've gone
No,
too-
no,
they've
no.
gone too
We
far.
are not
No, I don't
moving
wanna
on.
talk
But no,
about this anymore.
No.
but
I
where
got
they've gone too
questions.
far. I just want an example of where is it okay to when do they cross the line with you?
I'm so scared to look at the chat.
Tommy,
Thank you.
Well, she didn't answer my question here.
she's avoiding it.
I just want to know
Avoiding
what's
it.
the example
Can we get
of where
another
is it
question
okay
in,
for somebody who
please?
knows nothing about the NBA to talk to you about NBA, like an example of what's okay, and then when is it too far?
I just want the conversation to be organic and genuine. I don't want it to be fake. That's all.
We got so many questions
That's why
here.
the NFL
We
guy,
can't move on
or
from
the
this.
hockey guy. Just be yourself.
No.
Just go.
Tommy, go.
No, okay. Situation. What if this person sees you at whatever place and goes, wow, I really like her. I've heard about her. I want to go talk to her. And he's a total snack.
Okay.
And he wants to sound like cool and smart, and he knows you're into sports, you do sports shows, and he brings up something just to get in with you, and you're just like, shut the F up. Get out of here. I am not here to talk about basketball zone defense, man on man. And then you totally ruin a perfect opportunity to be with McDreamy.
First of all, he's a snack, so I'll listen to everything.
I don't know what these words mean, but I'm just trying to sound cool.
Talk about it all you want.
Okay, so that means you would talk.
So then it's 100% based off of what they look like.
So you're more than okay to
yeah,
have this
so-
handsome
conversation.
draft people over here, all right? Don't judge me.
I wasn't
Wow,
part of
there's
the
no
handsome
judgment.
draft.
You know
Just
what?
wondering.
So, but I legitimately have so many questions because now this is getting put into perspective. So if this guy is like, okay, he's a 10 in your eyes, and you're like,
okay,
you can
different
talk
topic.
about whatever you want.
Yeah.
You guys would
And
too.
then if it was like let's say it was a 6.
Yeah.
Now, if same
6
thing,
is an average person.
same thing.
What if it's soft?
Now, would you tell him to drive his car into a ditch?
Oh my God.
I need to know.
You
I need
brought
to
this
know
up.
this stuff.
I was just saying that I want that person to be happy and have a good time too.
But then you
Question.
also went and said, but don't talk about something that you don't know because then I don't want to talk to you about it because I get upset.
But now you're
Still
saying
trying
if
to
he's
figure out what
hot,
you
then you talk to him.
That-
Bellezy has another
You
question.
would too. You
Thank
be
you, Tommy.
quiet.
Thank you for allowing me to talk.
If it was a hot girl, yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Well, Big U going, so Jasmine only yells at uggos.
Holy.
I don't yell at anybody. I just
okay,
excuse
so
myself.
You've
what
yelled at us
happens?
for the last 10 minutes.
I yell at you guys every show.
This is true. We need to talk about this. Now, what happens if you said, like, you know, to one of your friends and this other guy was there and you brought up the Luka conversation like you just did and he chimed in and it wasn't a take that you liked, even though it was like a normal take, what would you do?
If it's a normal take, it's a normal take.
But is it?
But then I would just
What
be-
would, okay, so what would push you over the limit to be like, dude, you need to get the hell out of here?
You don't know
Or
what
I'm
you're
gonna stab
talking
you.
Yeah, when you really know
Yeah.
that they don't know what they're talking about and they're just like they are having a hard time having a conversation with you. And it's just that's why I'm like, can it just be organic?
Now, are you telling them to get lost or are you just saying, I have to go to the bathroom and you walk away?
I do one of those, I have to go to the bathroom.
I'm still so confused
Same
on
with
this
me.
line.
Good,
here. I'm not
let's
gonna
change the
lie.
topic. Because I can't do this.
Can I
I'm
just-
sorry.
can
I
I-
just wanted that guy to have a good time at that party and just be himself.
But don't talk about the NFL.
Right, please don't talk about the NFL.
Yeah, don't talk about the NFL. You can say you don't like Patrick Mahomes because he's on the Chiefs. Like, that's a fine take.
Okay, well, let's get to
You
some
can't say-
responses.
Oh, God.
I had so many questions.
Okay, let's,
EST Hangout is presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Check them out, sentinel.ca for a location, one of their many convenient locations nearest you. They are a proud Canadian storage provider. Be sure to buy Canadian with your rental needs, storage rental needs, and that is with Sentinel Storage. 4 weeks free on all units right now.
Can I
Tom,
get-
Matt, Jasmine, Bell with you here on the Hangout, which I don't even know what's... I'm still confused. I'm
Please,
still
Tommy.
so
I'm going to
Please,
dip into the
Tommy.
Paris Jewelers inbox for some of the reaction to whatever that was for the last 15 minutes. Thank you, Jasmine. Juan, we're going to start with Juan, who says, don't talk about the Rouge. Good point for that guy going to the party who doesn't know the NFL. Well, this one from the Whistle Dog says, I'm with Jasmine here. I will, however, be patient with new sports fans, but it is kind of annoying to listen to uneducated takes and to be put into a position where I have to entertain you and explain the game.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to watch the game. Tell that dude who texted in that he already lost, wouldn't go to the Super Bowl LIX party.
Okay, so
That's a great
actually
message.
makes sense.
Yeah.
What Jasmine talked about for the last 15 minutes didn't encompass any of that.
No,
But I just want the example of though where it's like, what if that person, like, where is it that you just don't like their take, and you don't like their takes, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about? Are you?
No, I would never say that. And nor
Well,
would
in your
I
mind,
disrespect them
but like,
that
how do you
either.
how do you know that this person doesn't know what, like, maybe that's just their take, and you? I'm trying to figure out the line of. I want an example of this.
Well, this texter,
I just want an example.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, I'm trying to focus on the game here, and you're giving me like stuff that I don't really care to explain to you right now or talk about right now because I'm focused.
But is
on
that a
this,
question or is it a take? Is it a question about the game that they're trying to learn, or is it they're just giving you takes and you're upset about their takes?
I would say the takes
Okay, but so
because
now
they're
it
not
just takes
knowledgeable
you.
about it, and it's just like, then why are you saying that? Because you read a tweet, and then it's like I don't need to. Now I have to like bring in my like opinion on something that this person could care less about.
So if he was like,
it could not
yeah,
care less, by the way.
Luka didn't play very well,
I got you.
isn't playing very well, so that's why they trade him, are you punching him in the face?
Yeah, of course. Throw
Okay,
down.
done.
Of course I'm punching them in the
But
face.
what if they actually
I think
believe
I
that?
have to go to the bathroom. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so that we found a line. We found a line.
Finally.
There we go. So now, if we're into this conversation about the Luka thing, and you're like, the guy walks up and goes, "Yeah, I don't think Luka's been playing very well." You're like, "I got to go to the bathroom."
Okay, question.
Okay.
Are you coming to Century
Found a
Casino?
line.
I am.
Okay, 2 things on Century Casino this Sunday. One, if you're nasty there and Jasmine says, I need to go to the bathroom, please let me know.
Yeah.
So I can dissect the conversation you were having. And I can figure out. Well, I want an example of this, and I still don't have my example. I just want to figure out what you guys were talking about so I can figure out where Jasmine's talking about here. So if you're talking with Jasmine, she also, I got to go to the bathroom, just come find me and let me know what's going on. You can interrupt whatever conversation I'm having. Just let me know.
No, I always have to go to the bathroom. Nobody be offended by that. I promise you guys can talk to me about anything you want.
I think everyone's going to be afraid to talk to you on Sunday.
Well, but
Everybody's gonna have
won't.
helmets on because Jasmine's swinging for the fences.
yeah.
No,
You
you
say
guys.
something stupid.
Oh, you guys completely
I like
misunderstood.
Patty Mahomes. Whoop.
Boop.
So, okay, actually, I have a question. If you start talking soccer to me, I could just walk away. because I don't want to talk to you about soccer. You have no idea what you're talking about. Why am I having a conversation with you right now?
Walk away. I give you soccer takes to talk about.
Taylor Swift's the best thing that happened in the NFL.
Exactly.
But that's my point. So that's what I'm trying. Is that like what you're saying I can do then, in a sense? If you start talking soccer to me, I'd be, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I've never done that though. I've been like, hey, like this happened or whatever, Champions League. Here you go. And I straight up
Okay,
and
so
like,
that's
honest.
the line here. So it's just, but if you had a thought, like if you came to me and said, I think Alphonso Davies should have resigned in Bayern Munich,
Sure.
that's when I could walk away from you?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because you don't
sure.
follow soccer?
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about him because he's Canadian and he has a nice jersey or something. That's about it. That's all I got.
Right, but because you don't follow soccer, like I'm trying to do the reverse here. Then I could walk away because, well, you actually don't have a real thought on soccer. I'm annoyed by this. I'm walking away.
No, it's like if you're talking to soccer with me, you probably feel bad for me because you're just like, oh, she doesn't even really care. Right? Don't you feel bad for me?
No, but if you bring it up to me.
No.
Well, I'm trying to
Not
figure
right
out your
now.
level because you're saying like people coming up, like Big U came up and started talking basketball with you and you yelled at Yuki. I'm going back. So like here, you come up to me and you start talking soccer to me. Where's if I was
I
putting
wouldn't do that.
But I'm saying you did. If you did, if I'm
Then
trying
you
to be you,
change the conversation.
or I go to the bathroom,
Nice shoes.
or I go
don't
to the
know.
bathroom.
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Or, oh, look, something over there.
Okay, a couple of texts. Well,
I'm not done. Century.
Okay,
Stop.
go.
If you have,
You guys are dead.
if you have a reservation for Century, Renata says hopefully come by about 3:30, 4:30 if you have a reservation for Century Casino
my
for your
God.
table.
Good,
So that's
good,
probably
good.
about the time to show up. Kickoff's about 4:30.
Yeah.
So about 3:30 to 4, I would say, almost even for your reservation for Century Casino this Sunday for the Super Bowl.
Jasmine will be getting bottle service, and so there will be a velvet rope that will allow you or not allow you to have a discussion
Everybody
with her.
can talk to me about their sports takes. I promise.
You
This
might
is
get
a nasty nation, okay?
That's called a trap, nasty chat.
That's a trap. This text says, wow, try building a flow chart for that reasoning, and LOL, keep handing Jasmine the shovel. Jason in Leduc says, you know who comes up with crappy takes? People who are pretending to know what they're talking about because they're trying to impress people. You know who asks legitimate questions? People who own that they don't know what they're talking about. Mic drop. And I think the sincerity there is where the conversation can happen. So that's a good point by
I like
Jason
that.
in Leduc.
Very good point.
Collingwood Rob says, well, as a Nasty Club member, I hope someday to sit in as a guest for EST Hangout. However, after hearing Jasmine, I'm scared poopless to have a different opinion as to Jasmine's. She is so welcoming. Many laughing emojis. Big Maple.
Guys.
Me after asking Jasmine what the score is because I was late showing up to the game with a Hans Mole man taking a football to the Pills gift.
Too good.
Rip City Step. What Jasmine is describing is actually what happened between JT Miller and Peterson.
Well
Okay,
played.
you know what? I'll just tell you why I feel this way, okay? Let's just...
I thought you wanted to move on.
I do, but I feel
we're gonna go back to it.
victimized right now by you guys.
I'm just trying to understand it. I just want an example because I don't get it. I don't understand it still.
You're on the offensive.
I just want the line on this.
You know what? I just feel like I get a lot of garbage from Canucks fans, and they always like...
Why
always
you
like,
are one.
No, okay. And I just feel like I'm always like on the fence of you don't even watch your own team. So why are you talking to me about it? Like, who the hell are you to say McDavid sucks, doesn't want to be there, wants to leave it? Who the hell are you to tell me Draisaitl's not that great? Like, are you okay? Because I had to do this weekend. Oh, what?
Do you think
You continue this. You continue this conversation. We were going to move on, but you had to go back. So
I
Bellezy.
think that's why I get a little triggered. So I'm sorry. I think that just now are we all
Bellezy.
friends again?
do you think that they do that because they know that you're going to hit another level? It's like almost like they threw a line in the water. McDavid sucks. And then all of a sudden here comes Jazzy. Boom.
Could
And
be.
right out of the water. And they're
Wow.
like, got her.
Maybe they do. I was more so speaking about some, like, Canucks fans are wearing their little Gucci belts and their little Louis Vuittons, and they're just like in their high heels. Like, I love the Canucks, and it's just like, that's great. Oh, doesn't like McDavid? He's like kind of overrated, right? And it's like, are you okay? That's what I mean.
Line in the
There.
water.
Okay.
Line in the water. Fishing. McDavid sucks.
happened to
McDavid
me.
sucks. McDavid sucks. Oh, got it, Jasmine.
Got it.
Are you okay? Okay. I'm not okay.
I still don't understand this.
I don't know why
I'm
are we
still
still
going
talking about
back
it?
to this guy because you continued it. This guy goes to the Super Bowl party, knows nothing of football. I don't know what he's allowed to say and what he's not allowed to say. That's what this all started from, and I still don't know.
Just have fun.
I know, but where's the line where he's going to get in trouble?
There is no line because I call it a day. I cut it off.
I'm gonna stand by my take. Show up, have the most outlandish takes.
Oh no.
Call it a day.
I think
Get everybody talking about you.
I think you just chat GPT a couple of responses about their
And then-
of X's and O's.
As soon as that they
Like-
go into that conversation, you're typing it in like in the chat GPT, and then you come out with
I
the
like
full.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I was
There you
going to
go.
go with just like
Use AI.
chat GPT. How should the Eagles defeat the? What's the game plan? The Eagles.
That is
need
exactly what we need to
beat
do.
The Chiefs
There it
tonight
is.
in the Super Bowl.
We're doing this in real time. I love
Beat
it.
the
Yep.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Joke's on you guys because I'm not watching it. My back will be turned.
See, and then this is where you go with like, so yeah, you guys, I think they need a well-rounded game plan that neutralizes Patrick Mahomes and exploits the Chiefs' weaknesses. Control the game with that, or the clock with the run game, guys. Pressure Mahomes without blitzing. I think that's what they need to do a
really
little more
good.
of for
Yeah,
the Eagles.
great.
They need to contain Travis Kelce. That offense runs through Kelce, especially in the red zone, boys. Am I right?
Yes. This is exactly what needs to happen.
Chiefs defense, well coached, but they're susceptible to the big plays downfield. You know, Brown, Smith, one-on-one, they'll exploit those matchups. Got to watch that. Am I right?
Buddy, you become an instant analyst.
Boom. Thank you, Chat GPT.
But now,
Great job,
would you get mad at that
ChatGPT.
person if you didn't know that that's what they got it from?
Yeah, because they cheated.
I said if you didn't know where they got
Oh.
it from,
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa. I'd be pretty like, whoa, right.
you'd be impressed.
Yeah, I would be.
You wouldn't say, I
impressed.
got to go to the bathroom.
No, I wouldn't. I
Okay.
would engage. I would engage.
Neil.
That
via
guy better
Paris
have
Jewelers
fast
Mommy,
inbox.
stop reading all these.
No, these are
messages.
good. Neil says, hot take on the party goer. If it's a group party to watch the Super Bowl with a bunch of work friends, the likelihood that everyone is an expert on football is probably 10%. Not everyone who attends a Super Bowl party knows everything or even anything about the football. I'd say just go and enjoy the chili. There should be chili. Cheers, Neil. Thank you, Neil.
Actually, that was a question. Well, because they did that draft, like a mini draft on the morning show. What is the big dish like for Super Bowl? Like Eric had brought in an interesting one. He puts chili more with Grey Cup than Super Bowl.
I would agree with that.
Me too.
Me too.
I think of like wings and pizza.
Nachos.
Nachos is where I was
yeah.
going. Nachos is the big one.
But I
Smoked
think-
brisket nachos at Century.
But I think in the States, because I played with obviously a few American kids, their dip of choice was like a Jimmy Dean sausage queso dip.
Oh, queso,
Wow, the queso dip is
good.
It was like, I've had a few times, it was unbelievable. Then I had like a buffalo chicken queso dip.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
So nachos or some kind of like chips and dip.
A tortilla of some
Yeah.
sort. Tostitos, Arriba, Doritos.
Put Doritos in the freezer. And Ariba's work too.
Yeah.
You put them in the freezer? Why?
Brings out the flavor.
That's unreal.
It's
Legit.
a little more intense. Actually, Hawkins cheesies too.
Hawkins cheese.
Really?
Oh.
Jay put them in here at one point. The flavor's a little more intense, you
Yeah.
could say.
It's pretty intense already.
Throw
Put it
them
in the
into the
freezer.
freezer. Straight up.
Hot damn.
No joke. Yukon Jack
Yeah.
taught me that.
Okay.
Doritos and Hawkins cheesies. Straight
Yeah.
up.
I will do it.
Good stuff, Hawkins.
What are you smiling about and laughing about? Big Uke?
I just want to die.
Was it Big Uke?
I feel so bad.
Big
Why?
Uke, I'm
Why?
glad this
What
came out
happened?
now so I can craft multiple jokes to say to Jasmine on Sunday. From afar so she doesn't hit me, but jokes will be made.
Hit anybody. Whatever you think I'm gonna throw down. Like
You're scaring Bellezy right
I
now.
believe Rip
Oh
City
my God.
Steps asked if there was going to be headgear.
Got to provide
Just in
your own.
case. Yeah, you're going to have to bring it's BYOB. So
Well,
it's not technically.
BYOH.
Yeah, it's BYOH.
BYOH. Bring your
So
own helmet.
BYOB is bring your own beer, but you can't do that. You got to
No.
bring your own helmet. So,
BYOH.
Yeah.
Well, you could bring your own beer if you go to
Yeah.
put it in the hotel room.
well, there you go.
you're renting a hotel room. Some people are renting hotel
It's going to be a great time.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to the ponies. Hopefully somebody is racing somewhere so I could bet on the ponies.
You should put a Twitter like clip up or X post,
Twitter.
whatever, Twitter,
Long
X,
with Twitter.
just detailing some of the rules for the party, Super Bowl party.
What rules do we have?
BYOH.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Don't piss Jasmine off.
Well, and again, I don't even understand how. I don't even understand the lines still. This whole time, I'm just getting that example.
We're
I don't
doing
have
Super
one.
Bowl squares.
Yes.
She swings with her right.
I feel like she could probably swing with both.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I feel like she'd have a good right. Like her dominant hand is her right, but I think she's got a decent left.
Yeah,
probably.
$1,000 at halftime for Super Bowl squares. Jasmine can throw lefts if she needs to.
I think so. I think you got to be. feel like sneaky, straight up.
Like, I think you should just go through a whole list of stuff just so that people know what to expect.
There's $10 menu, right? Lots of good stuff.
Don't change the subject.
$10.
Smoked brisket cheesesteak, $9. Surf and turf, $9.99. Pound of wings, $9.50. Chili cheese hot dog with choice of side, $8. Garlic dry ribs, $8.50. Bud Light, 23 ounce, $8. Team feature cocktails, 2 ounce, $9. You can get the Alley Cat lager in a can for $8. But if you want a bucket of 4, $29.
And if Jasmine leaves at any point, it's because she's probably keying
To
your
the
car.
bathroom. If she says she's going to the bathroom, which come let me know.
Now I'm not gonna go.
So I could dissect the
Watch
conversation.
it
I don't care. Then there'll be
People
another
are gonna
event.
be
I need to study this.
People are going to be like, where are you going, Jasmine?
Every time.
Where are
and
you
I
going?
pee a lot. So this is just great. I just really shot myself.
Text
you.
line.
Yeah.
Does
go ahead.
Sentry provide ice packs? Just wait for another 6 o'clock. Use that.
They're so good though. Yeah.
This one from the text line. I am scared to talk to Jazzy now. I might not be smart enough to. Another one. Jazz, just stop. Your Vancouver is showing.
Oh, yes. This one, my Gucci bag, my Louis shoes.
My Prada
my
belt.
It's not me. It's the ones they deal with.
It's the Canucks fans. I am one.
They won yesterday.
Oh, my God.
You would know.
Not used. Undisclosed injury. So he might get traded. Okay, enough. Okay, so here's a good one.
What was in that coffee?
I don't know.
No
But
kidding, like-
that's why. I only have 1 cup of coffee.
This
And
is why you're so fired up?
Yeah.
Now, Lieutenant Eric better watch out. He's going to get punched because he gave her a second cup of coffee. Portions of this hour of
whatever's in there.
the EST Hangout. It is brought to you by Lloydstad Insurance Brokers. Lloydstad.com. They are one of Alberta's largest and most trusted independent insurance brokerages. If you are looking for business insurance, be sure to connect with fellow nasty Kevin Bondal. They are proud sponsors of the EST Fun Spiel, which is taking place next Saturday at the Shamrock. Jasmine will be there too, playing.
I'll be there.
Oh, good one.
If you're
I
not
don't know anything about
careful,
curling.
she's going to throw rocks
No,
at you.
I don't know nothing about curling. There you go. You asked to teach me.
Okay, but so I'm not going.
I know exactly.
Because I was
I-
going to ask
okay.
if you asked the question about curling, like where, but I'm just going to leave that.
I won't.
We're just going to leave
Leave
that.
I won't ask. I'll just quietly sit there alone. Clearly, nobody's gonna talk to me now. So the NFL is going to test state-of-the-art technology to help spot the football. It's the Sony Hawkeye Scale Track system. Bunch of advanced cameras. They are apparently testing the ball spotting technology at the Super Bowl, even though it won't be used. It will be there to collect data for the future.
Waste of time.
Why? Isn't that
They're
cool?
not even going to use it.
They could next year.
They say that.
Next point.
They also saw, I don't know if you saw, racism is over, according to the
Right, so
National
I-
Football League.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that
What?
racism is over.
They have for the last few years, they put end racism at the back of the end zone for Super Bowls.
Yeah.
This year they're removing that.
Yeah. 'cause-
Oh,
Okay.
We've solved racism,
That's
people.
right. Exactly. And it
Finally.
might be.
We're all good.
It's because Trump is going to be the first president to attend a Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's
Well,
what's up.
racism solved.
Racism is solved. Don't look at me.
This has been great.
I just said you're looking at your notes. I was waiting for if you had another point on your notes. Because I brought up the racism part there.
Yeah, I actually had that in my notes. Thank you for that. Oh my gosh, guess what?
what?
The Oilers are playing the Blackhawks today.
GCL Days
Oh,
Ocean
yeah.
pregame show, 6:30 later.
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Boston Pizza Westgate, come on down. Good job last night.
Calvin
Thank you,
Pickard getting
appreciate
your
that.
start in that.
There you go.
Is that right?
Oh, I'd
Nice,
assume.
very good,
This would make sense.
very good. Let's look at the line. I'm sure it's quite high and favored into Edmonton. So.
Should be Vancouver or Chicago sucks. Sorry, my Jazz is showing.
Cool Bet has the Oilers at minus
Oh, God.
278. The Blackhawks plus 230 straight up on the money line.
Yeah, any thoughts? No? Okay, great.
The Oilers should win.
Yeah, Oilers should win.
It's second last game before their Four Nations break.
True.
Friday's a big game as the Avs come to town. The
Yep.
And the-
Rantanen
Rantanen.
less Avalanche.
Mikko
Oilers-
Rantanen.
They need these 2 points because then
Yeah, they do.
it's gravy on Friday to me. Of these 3 games, if you take 2 of them, like you want that win. I'm not saying that they don't want to go get the win, but you go grab 4 of 6 points going into that break, you're happy. Everything on
a good
Friday is
point.
great. So get it done. And what they almost it was Buffalo a couple weeks ago. They almost blew it too.
Can't argue if they're there. I'd like to see them on a heater, though.
They can, yeah.
I'd like to see the 3-game heater. 2 and
We
1
talked
to me
about
is
that
like,
last night.
well, whatever.
3-game heater would be
3-game heater.
doable.
Feel good.
Going
Right
into
the
that break.
Yep. Feel great.
And then head off to wherever you're going, except for the other 3 who are off to
Yep.
Montreal and Boston.
Yep.
well, Colorado lost yesterday 3-0, so
Yeah, that
they'll be
team-
fiery.
Sure, but
What do they have beforehand?
yeah, they probably have another game before. But like Colorado, after that trade, like that's an epic trade where there's gonna be ripple effect, and it's gonna take time for them to, I don't know, regroup if that's the right term.
Is there a world?
They get Flames on Thursday, Oilers Friday, so the Oilers get them on a back end of a
Yeah.
back-to-back.
Is there a world where they go back after Rantanen?
I don't think so. That damage is done.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Why
and-
would you
him and
give
the-
up this season and move on from him to then just bring him back?
I don't like. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Matty. I'm just throwing a hypothetical out there.
You broke
Well-
off that relationship,
Okay,
burn the ring, whatever. Like,
but to play off of that, I'm assuming teams kind of knew where the cap was, but maybe they're now seeing what the projections are for the next 3 years. The Avs sit there and be like, actually, you want to know something? We could pay him a little bit more.
I do think the Avs have been an internal cap team for a while, though. So
Yeah.
I'm not super shocked that they made that deal. But do they say, okay, if now we have Natchez and we can add Rantanen and potentially we're going to get Landeskog back, that puts us over the top where we can maybe potentially make that revenue back because we've been in the playoffs for so long? It's food for thought, especially if you're an internal cap team.
But he's coming to the Oilers.
Oh, Jesus.
forgot about that.
Yeah, so did I.
Chicago is a team a lot of people are connecting dots to.
Or he probably just stays in Carolina.
But this is the one time as like a free agent where like you play to get to free agency to agree with your players.
Yeah.
You could choose. You have no ties to Carolina.
Okay, let's
Like,
play,
if
let's
you-
play this game.
If you were with the Avs and you had been there, there's going to always be that a little bit emotional tie that's going to draw you back to where I really want to leave. Well, you've got a few months with Carolina. If there's ever a time to now actually go test the market, this would be it for
Okay,
a
let's
player,
play
I
this
would
game.
think.
Chingy, you can't pick Vancouver. Now, if you were a free agent
Yeah.
and you had any pick, wherever you wanted to go, where would you go?
It's so you're
and why?
Mikko
Are we
Rantanen.
talking about this offseason?
That doesn't matter what offseason. You're Matty, you're a free agent. You're about to walk into your $14 million
Okay, so I'm
salary.
getting 14 mil.
You can go to any team you want. Where and why?
That's a
You
tough
can
one.
you can use today's landscape,
Well, no, I'm
like in
just-
terms of the best teams and all that stuff. If you want, don't care. But like, where and why?
Well, there's two I would debate, and one would be Edmonton because it's coming back home, playing in front of family and friends. The other would be LA because it's just a great lifestyle down in LA, and you're playing for the Kings.
This is you as Matthew.
He's
One.
saying
Not-
that's what
we're
he's
not
saying.
Mikko Rantanen
No, he's
here.
saying
We're just
us.
I threw that Matty as Matty, but
okay,
like
okay.
you can now be
That's-
Mikko.
Okay, if you're gonna be,
You've
well,
already won a Stanley Cup.
that's the one part of all this. Not chasing the cup as much now.
Yeah.
He has it.
So now if you're Mikko, you've won the cup already. You're going to get your 14 million. So now you want to, have a big contract to kind of ride off in the sun. You're probably a competitor. So you kind of want to be in a team that's on the cusp, at least a playoff team. Where do you go?
Tampa. Dallas. Vegas, if they can squeeze you in.
What about New York?
I think the GM there is very difficult to deal with, so I wouldn't go there.
Okay.
I'd go somewhere comfortable.
Yeah. Big time.
I think Utah might get in the mix on him. So they had Kevin Weeks ask Eric Tulsky on NHL Network the other day about, hey, future signing Rantanen, and is he going to stick around? And Tulsky didn't have an answer. He's like, we're trying to convince him. We'll see how time goes. His time goes in Carolina. So they took a big gamble. And I think Rantanen walks, regardless of how things go for Carolina and him.
I do too.
Big gamble, and I think they're going to lose.
They did it with Gensel.
Yeah. They recovered.
I think they're
fine.
okay. Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
fine. Like, it's not, they actually still have first round picks. They didn't give up first round pick in either of those two deals, which gives them the ability to go make some moves and move some things around. If I'm Rantanen right now, like I think I'm going for the money to a degree because I have the cup. Who's going to pay me the most? Who's giving me that 14?
Yeah,
Somebody's giving me 14.
Disagree, but
where am I getting that 14? Give me my 14.
But you're probably also basing it off of location.
Chicago has the money. Give me 14. I'll go there.
All the places in the NHL, you'd go to Chicago first?
Well, I'm looking at this upcoming offseason of who's going to be able to give me 14 if I'm Rantanen.
Fair enough.
How many are, like, Carolina, give me 4. If I choose between Carolina or Chicago, I'm going to Chicago.
Yep. But I'm saying this is off the table. This is an off the table. Like, it doesn't matter the salary cap. You're going to get your 14 million. Where would you go and why? That's all. Tommy?
Yeah.
Tommy? Where
Say
would you
again?
go?
If it's you.
If it's you,
Me, not Rantanen.
you can go you yourself. I don't care.
You got,
Or
it's the
Rantanen.
team's going to give you $15 million this offseason. It doesn't matter what team. You don't have to worry about the cap or anything. Where are you going?
Seriously, like Dallas, Tampa, or Vegas.
Not Florida?
No, I'd go to Tampa. Because actually, Florida's all of a sudden a good one where they're in the mix. Yeah, you can throw Florida in there, but I prefer Tampa over Florida as a city to
Fair.
enjoy.
Yep.
I would have had Arizona in there if they were still
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
straight up.
absolutely.
Yep.
But I prefer Pacific Coast over East Coast.
Fair. Yeah.
That's why I would have taken LA. You're the first NHL female. You're getting a $15 million deal. Where's Jasmine going?
Look, I ain't a quitter. I want to win another cup. So I'm going to a team that's going to get me a cup. So yeah, probably Edmonton. I'll play with McDavid, or I'll go to LA.
Yeah.
Bellezy, you're back in the National Hockey League. Someone's going to give you $15 million. Where are you going?
I'd go Dallas.
Yeah.
I'd go Florida. And maybe LA.
Decent hockey team, and you're in LA.
Yeah, and you're in LA.
And you're playing with the right team in LA.
Yep.
Here's an interesting
Brendan,
one.
quickly.
Yeah, Brendan.
You got one?
Here.
Oh, we could hear.
No, I think Florida.
Florida, Dallas. Those are the two. Down south. Jasmine and the only two of us that care about Edmonton. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Been there, done that.
Interesting. I guess, yeah, you're fair.
He literally, yeah.
Jasmine and I.
Been there, done that.
Power
Got
to
ready. Walked away.
Do you notice how Jasmine didn't say Vancouver? She said Edmonton.
I told her she wasn't allowed to
I
take
was
Vancouver.
never good.
But that was a while ago. Now we're back. So she picked the right city. I picked the right city. You two don't care about your own city. Interesting.
Oh, I care about my city. It's just I wouldn't
Jack
play
says
it.
Bell Lake's hot takes.
We have about 30 seconds left. Did you add something you're going to throw?
No.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. I got 30 seconds.
I'm on tomorrow. We're gonna do prop bets tomorrow. I'm gonna bring them in.
Guess we're doing prop bets
Yeah.
tomorrow.
It'll be a fun show. It'll be like
Otherwise,
the
we're gonna
prepare us
get
for
punched.
Super Bowl.
Coming up, we've got the Lock Shop. I heard WM Phoenix Open picks coming up on the show today. We got the Oil Stream. We got EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Mill. GCLD's Oil Stream pre and post game shows live from Boston Pizza on 170th, Westgate across the street from West Edmonton Mall. Bellezy, good having you in.
Always a pleasure.
Jasmine, thanks for not
Always a
punching into
pleasure.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
On behalf of Bellezy, Jasmine, Tom, and Brendan on the other side of the camera, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. This was the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Up next, Lock Shop. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, longtime listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today